Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is issue 22 of the Spinner Rack. Nathan Kennedy, that is Tyler Baker. Tonight's show, Marvel Universe Series 3. And we're not going to waste too much time because we got 206 cards that we got to flip through the entire set. Thanks to, I want to say, Johnny Cock for sending me the link to a website that just contains all of the different Marvel series cards, so that will be very helpful and beneficial for the future. But I think it's been quite some time. I didn't look at the date when we went through the other step prior, but it's been close to a year since we talked trading cards.
Yeah, it probably has. I think because there was such a long stretch where we hadn't done many spinner racks. It was just kind of once in a blue moon kind of thing. So it probably would be a year. Hell, probably longer than that.
I'll look it up. Why not?
At least that's what it feels like.
Yeah, it seems like it's been quite. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm seeing these other spinner racks that's saying 1 year ago. So, and I know that was one of the earlier ones that we did when we did Marvel Masterpieces from 1992.
Yeah.
So same year, but just a different subset.
Yeah, and that was a big year for me.
This was around the time period that I was pretty much in full sports mode at this point. So comics and toy collecting was on brush to the side. I'm like, sports.
Which I didn't watch sports, but I love the Bulls, Michael, and the Dream Team, and NBA Jam. King Group Virginia, Major League Baseball. Like I still liked playing, and I loved playing sports, but watching and knowing and keeping up with players, it was only the ones that transcended the sport were the ones I knew of, and it was
Sports Center every morning before school. It's like, gotta watch Sports Center. And I would, on days that we didn't go to school, because you remember, maybe you don't. I don't know if they continue to do this years later, but I think it was like 6 a.m., maybe 7 a.m. It'd have to be like 6 because, well, somewhere around there. Sports Center would start, and then it would just be Sports Center from one point till about 11 or noon.
Yeah.
And then they would have a little bit of a break, and then you wouldn't get Sports Center again until the evening. I don't know if that's something you still continue. But
they still do that shit.
It would just pretty much be replays unless there was any sort of breaking news or something new.
Yeah, because then I'm thinking, like, how the fuck can people just leave Sports Center for long periods of time? I'm like, fuck, they're not talking about any. And like they'll play it at the gym, just and I'll happen to look up, like, fuck, it's the same shit. Yeah. Like it's just the same baseball replay, same basketball replay, same football stories.
Well, I'm glad that hasn't changed.
No, if anything, only for the football segments, they'll let you know how much time you have before the commercial break is over and what the next topic's going to be about.
Really?
Yeah, they do that with football.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I think my least favorite sport at this point.
Yeah, I just it doesn't help too that as we said before, our area is just
crazy. Yeah, it's kind of it may not be this way anymore, but the way that I equated how crazy our area was about football is if I just watch Varsity Blues. That's kind of how they were about high school football. It was very, very, very much like that.
Yeah, that stadium would get packed out the ass,
and we're just walking around in circles. It's like
just trying to socialize with girls and laugh at stuff. That was it.
Or very much Cobra Kai-esque. It's like, oh, you used to be friends with this guy, now you're not friends anymore, and it's like that whole thing.
Which I think for the most part, I
think you avoided most of that.
Yeah. I don't think I really had any kind of. I had like many groups of friends, but you became like the central. Like I had buddies that came over from middle school that I had known for so long, and various little cliques, like this kind of slightly goth people, people from middle school. So it was a mixed bag.
Elizabeth Deshawn, huh?
Yeah, her Nathaniel Wade and his girlfriend and
Yeah.
Josh Ramsey. That was like a small little clique, and Elijah Nestor, the guy that picked up that girl's severed hair and kept it. But I at least as scary as high school was for me, mentally just thinking like I hate school.
Mm-hmm.
Always worried that people are going to make fun of you for the most dumbest mundane shit. At least I had several groups of people that I did talk to and associate with. Not as much as I would have preferred because you don't have time.
Yeah.
And classes keep you divided and stuff like that too. But I was like, looking back, I'm like, it was pretty nice to have people like Patrick Martin and various other people from different, groups of people.
Walks of life. Different cliques.
Yeah, and they weren't like part of the cliche cliques. It was just a different group of people, not the preps. Yeah. Or the goths, the rednecks, the jocks, none of that shit. It was just a mishmash of random people.
Yeah, it really was. Well, I think for the most part, there were a good chunk of us that were just sort of like lost in the middle of all of that. Because when I really think about it, I don't myself and you, I don't think we didn't pertain to any certain clique in school.
No, because I think in my mind I would have considered myself a nerd because of the stuff I was into, but I love basketball.
Yeah,
and I didn't look and act like a nerd. But
just lost in the shuffle.
And part of me was like, it only sucked from the social aspect with the girls, but for the most part, I was very happy with our ever growing friendship that we had and the other friends that I would pal around in school and laugh and carry on with, and it was just a painful time. Like you're just
I mean, my biggest thing was just whoever I was feuding with in the circle of the backyard wrestling roster at the time.
Which was funny as hell to just be a witness to that.
Well, because it was always like everyone always hated one person. So it would go in cycles. So it'd be like, oh, for a couple weeks or a month, like all of them fucking hated me, and he's out. And it even just played out on because we would record our shows. We would record these, and then it's just like once you make up a thing, then I come back. I'm like, how are we gonna work that? Oh, he plays his music. It's like, no, it can't be. And then I like come out, and they're like, oh my god, he's back. So. It was very much life imitating art, I guess, at that point. But it'd be like, oh, for 3 weeks, they all hated me, and then they'd find a reason to turn on someone else, and then we're like, oh yeah, fuck that guy, he's out, and then he comes back. So it was just really fucking stupid looking back on it now, but fun. It was fun. Wrestling on the trampoline was fun. Well, you didn't get to do it as much, but
I only did it that for that one time, and then it just kind of fizzled out after that. And
by that point, we were already seniors in high school, so it was starting to reach that point. Especially it's like the Monday Night War is over, and WWF's a monopoly, and wrestling is gonna suck for the next 20 years. We didn't really know how bad it was gonna get.
Yeah.
But we were getting older, and it's like, you know what? We probably shouldn't be out here on the trampoline wrestling around anymore. But some people clung on to it longer than others.
Yeah, and but it was just fun to be part of the group and be taken in, and the interest turned into you collecting toys and getting into movies.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It went straight into that. It's like, all right, once that was done, then it's movies and toys and like rekindling that connection that I had years prior as a kid.
Yeah.
And that's all your fault. All this, that's your fault.
And I'm so proud of that too,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to just it really was just to be welcomed into that group, and it was a very small group, though, of course. But
it was. My social circles back then were pretty small.
Yeah, mine were too. The various little different ones, but I don't know. I think just laughing and carrying on with you as much as I did. That was the laughing and you really taken to getting into the movies. And I'm like, oh, you got to watch Vampires. You got to watch the 66 Batman. You got to watch Mallrats and Clerks.
Well, 66 Batman I'd already seen. It was just it was cool because
just getting you back into
you
it.
already had these on DVD. You're already spending $40-$50 to obtain these on DVD.
Oh yeah. Paying $40 for Mallrats at FYE.
I thought it was Waves.
Oh, Waves Music. It was still Waves Music. That's right. Yeah, Waves Music at the time.
Dude, Waves Music. That was a great store.
It was, but
I think we had because it wasn't FYE yet. We had Waves Music,
and then it was Disc Jockey before that. Yeah, that's when it was just strictly music. Waves Music brought in movies and posters.
Oh, okay.
And but then the wall was
was it Disc Jockey in the mall?
Yeah.
I always thought it was Waves Music when it.
No, it became Waves Music because I remember going there and buying specific,
Oh wait, no. You're right because it used to be a smaller.
Yeah,
location.
It was a very
Yeah, because I think I bought like DMX's debut album at the Disc Jockey.
Yeah. That and the wall, which was on the other side of the.
The mall, I mean the wall because they had the sticker, the lifetime guarantee sticker.
Yeah.
That you put on the jewel case, and if anything ever happens, that you take it back. Oh my God, they lost so much money from that. But whatever.
I always thought Wall was kind of the more upscale store, like it cost more there, whereas Disc Jockey seemed to be a little bit cheaper. I don't know why I thought that. Probably wasn't that much of a difference, but
yeah. Oh man. See, you triggered a memory there. I was like, oh, it was Disc Jockey. And I bought DMX's album there. I bought other CDs, but I remember specifically buying DMX's debut album at that Disc Jockey.
Yeah, I remember buying, and that's back when I was really trying to get singles and movie soundtracks. And I remember going to Waves and buying the Mortal Kombat soundtrack on cassette. Yeah, oh my God. I played the shit out of that cassette. It was on a Sunday.
But at this time period when it turned into Waves Music, this would have been
no. This was I bought that from the wall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were saying you bought it at Waves Music.
No. I bought this one. It was like the movie came out in August. I bought it like that fall of that soundtrack.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was just saying one of the random many things that I bought in that store, but
Waves Music, $40 for Mallrats.
Yeah.
And then there was the time you bought the Saturday Night Fever poster. I bought Boogie Nights.
Yep, I bought Planet of the Apes there too.
Yeah. Fuck.
And Nathan didn't see Saturday Night Fever till earlier this year.
I thought it was last year.
Or last year, because he texted and told me that he saw it. And
it's a good. It's got its problems for me, but I really really liked it.
No, I love that film.
But
it's a very down ending.
Yeah.
But it's also like you got to realize they're not good people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they're it's a very authentic 1970s film of the disco era.
Yeah, I watched Beverly Hills Cop 2 the other day. That was good. I didn't like it as much as the first one, and I
still haven't seen all that one. I've only seen pieces of it, not enough to even really remember any of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down eventually and watch the Axel.
The Netflix one.
Yeah, because I've heard it's pretty.
I've heard that too, which I was like, I don't see this being a success at all. So it was surprising to hear anything positive about it. I just feel like these nostalgia films where it's like you're really just hoping people ignore the story and think they just want to tune in and just see the most generic of generic throwbacks, and then we can get away with being fucking lazy.
I mean, anything I think could be better than what ended up happening with Beverly Hills Cop 3, because that was pretty atrocious.
I only saw it once.
From what I've heard, I haven't watched it in full, but just seeing things in screen caps, I'm just like, oh yeah, totally. The third one is just way off compared to the first two. We're getting here. The Netflix film is actually good, so yeah, I'll sit down and check that out. But been rewatching Cobra Kai in a couple of weeks. Tyler and I were talking about this before we went live. I'm doing the rewatch because, of course, we get part 1 of season 6 here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Drops
on a Thursday.
Yeah, the 18th. It'll be here. So middle of season 3 on that, and fucking love it. I can't. I'm glad that this season 6 will be it.
Me too.
It needs to end. I don't want it to overstay its welcome, even
Yeah,
though they're dragging out this season. Like we get part 1 now, part 2 is like November.
November.
And
it's like early 2025.
Yeah, the last bit will come out in 2025 if the world hasn't gone to shit by then. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that story continues. Don't watch Godzilla vs. Kong 2. It's so fucking cringy. I had thought about it just because it started streaming on Max yesterday. But I'm like, I don't think I could watch another MonsterVerse movie at this point. I'm like, no.
Jesus Christ. I still haven't seen the first one, and I have no intention of seeing it. Especially after Godzilla -1, I'm like, fuck, why the hell do I need to see anything from Legendary Pictures with Godzilla and King Kong?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't doesn't interest me. It feels so good to be so checked out of modern movies where I don't know what's coming out. I don't care what's coming out.
Yeah, it's just you just pick and choose. It's like, yes, this is what I want to see, and then you don't let anything else bother you. Dewson's here in the chat. He says Beverly Hills Cop 3 is nowhere near as bad as people love to keep saying. It's a lot of mindless parroting.
Well, that's saying something because hey, Dewson does like Jaws 4 too. So
yeah, I mean, I'll probably watch it, but I already feel like I'm getting the diminishing returns because I really like the first movie a lot. Having watched the second movie for the first time a couple of days ago, I'm like, I liked it. Dialogue-wise, I liked it, but the story, it just seemed a little bit kind of retreading and then almost a little too long in a way. Or maybe, I think sometimes, too, the mindset that not necessarily about what you're about to consume, but just the mindset that you're in general, when you go to sit down and watch something, I think can greatly affect your opinion on it once it's over.
Yeah.
Like if you're not in the mood to be like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to sit down here for an hour and 52 minutes and watch this. Like if your mind's already somewhere else, and it's already kind of going anyway, it's going to make you a little restless and make that hour 52 feel like 4.
Yeah, you really, and that goes with anything because I've sat down to try and watch movies. I'm like, I need to sit down and watch this, and I'm like, not really in the mood for it. Makes it a lot more of a chore, and then you start like, not appreciating what it is, or you're just not into it because you're just not in the mindset. Which finally arrived. I'm going to watch Rad tomorrow.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, so I'll be sitting down and watching it. I might try and get in the Hell Roller and the. And I really want to sit down and watch Deadly Prey again.
Fucking do it, dude.
Yeah, that and the night slasher movie you talked about, the one where all the killings take place during the day.
Night Killer.
Night Killer. Yeah, I was like, I was thinking about that. Like, I need to try and make a point, try and sit down and watch that. Maybe. I'm definitely watching Rad because I'm like, it finally showed up and like I want to sit down and watch this, and
you'll have fun with it.
I think so. Well, cool. Anything that's got "Send Me an Angel" is one of your little sequences because I started to send you like the sequence in The Wizard where they play "Send Me an Angel" and the sequence in Teen Wolf 2 where they play "Send Me an Angel." So like, I
still need to watch Teen Wolf 2. I've never.
I love Teen Wolf 2. I don't give a fuck what Jason Bateman says or anyone else that shits on that movie. It's the exact same plot as the first one. So people want to sit there and say the first one's the only good one. 2 is the same thing except Michael J's on it. They got Jason Bateman playing, and it's. I loved it as a kid because it was boxing, which is ironic. Because I didn't like the first because I thought it was boring because it was basketball. But boxing, which I'm not a fan of because I didn't want to watch the Rocky films yet, but he's fighting in the ring. He's fighting the bully and beating up everybody. Oh, this is awesome, even though I had no interest in boxing at all. I had the most weird mindset of what constitutes is like, I don't like that. And now the first Teen Wolf I fucking love.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. I thought the girl in the second one was prettier, even though Boof is definitely prettier as an adult. Whereas a kid, I'm like, I want him to get with that blonde girl. I think she's prettier. And ignoring the whole the wholesome girl is better for the hero as opposed to the girl that's very shallow and more prettier. I was just like,
You have support on Teen Wolf 2.
All right. Glad to hear that. Yeah.
I need to sit down.
Who do you want to be today? That was a great montage.
Would you recommend them together as just a double feature?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's the exact same filming. Chubby's in it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Since it's sort of pretty much the same thing.
It's the same thing, but
if
it's
you're
in
watching
college.
it back to back, like
But I don't feel like it's redundant. I feel like
okay,
it would have been the same movie. I think if Michael J was in it, obviously he'd become a big star at that point. So say, hey, we'll get the latest a hot guy on sitcom, and Jason Bateman was on the Hogan Family show, and which I used to watch that. So that's why when I saw Teen Wolf 2, I'm like, hey, yeah, from the Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like them both. They both have their dance number routines, their montages of victories, and the same moral of like, I got to be able to do this without being the wolf. And
Jason Bateman's good.
He's good in Teen Wolf too.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's pretty much good in anything, really.
Yeah, and he just kind of disappears after the '80s, and then has his resurgence with the Arrested Development.
Arrested Development's pretty good. I actually watched.
I've never seen. My brother was a big fan of it.
Yeah,
he's four, but I just never got around to watching it. Wasn't
like Carl Weathers is in it.
I heard Carl Weathers is in it. Yeah.
It's good. It's got a lot of funny shit in it. But we will go ahead now. We will transition over into. Well, let me get there. We go. Have to pop it up on the screen in order for me to share it. Bam, here we go. So the way that most of these should be in order from how I saved them, but there may be a few that are out of place.
That's all right.
I wasn't taking the time to just be like 1 save, 2 save. I just saved them as the file name was, but for the most part, these are in order. So may bounce around occasionally, but we start off heavy. Well, Tyler, because usually when these series would come out, it would be 1 or 2 artists mainly working on the set. Who do we have here in this?
Eric Larson is doing this because he was working on Spider-Man at the time, and I love it because I like Eric Larson's Spider-Man. Not everything he did in the Spider-Man books was great, but his heroes and villains always looked amazing. And he does a few. Mark Texeira does this. Mark Silvestri works on this. I was trying to think of some of the others. I don't think Jim Lee, even though there's some that look like Jim Lee's.
Yeah.
But I just know those 3 in particular are because Mark Texeira has. John Romita Jr. He's got some in here as well.
Okay.
So those are the 4 artists that I can tell you right off that are featured in this set. But this is definitely Eric Larson.
And these are all just going to be the front of the cards. Unfortunately, don't have scans of the back.
Yeah.
So
the backs, though, for people want to know, were a big impression on me because it was much like it was stats. It and with bars, and they would do this in other
show
series as well.
the abilities, like
the abilities from strength, intelligence, powers. It was in it like some were like like the max was like 10, and they they have 8 for intelligence, 4 for strength or something like that. It was so cool to see these and the other Marvel Universe trading cards as well. It was just like like stats for a sports card. It was really cool. Quasar is an Avenger. I think he's some other things, and he's a character I've never ever dug into. I just thought the name and his look was just kind of
Yeah, I see him. I'm just like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's done more, but I'm just being honest here. Not every Marvel character I know much about, and not every Marvel character I like. Sleepwalker. He's a character that his human form, when he's asleep, allows Sleepwalker to emerge. And that's I don't know the extent of his powers, but he's teamed up with Spider-Man. He teamed up during the Revenge of the Sinister Six storyline, along with the Hulk, Ghost Rider, the Fantastic Four, Nova, Deathlock, Ghost Rider. It was like this big onslaught of heroes taking on the Sinister Six because they had Gog, this giant from like another dimension, and the Sinister Six were all souped up with all these unbelievable machine guns and just supersonic weapons, stuff like that.
I know pretty much nothing about this character. I do like the design, and
it's a good design. I think it's I just never. He's one of those characters. Like if he was with team with Spider-Man, he was cool in my book just because of that.
Yeah.
But that's all I really know about him.
Gambit, of course.
Yeah, that's a great one of Gambit there. A great dynamic pose, gets the point across. Cannonball. Yeah, I think that's a good Cannonball one. I was never a fan of Cannonball as a kid. I appreciate it more because with X-Force, it was pretty much just about Cable. Cable was like, he was the cool one to me.
Yeah.
And everyone else, at the time didn't really even though Warpath kind of resonated with me a little bit, but Cannonball Beast. I like that one of Beast. It's and all these two. If people are not seeing these cards have got this cosmic border with a small panel of background of what you would see the character be doing. So they're all like this, Marvel Universe. That's kind of hence like the outer space thing.
I'll say this, like art wise and just the general design of the cards, obviously compared to other series, not my favorite.
Which I get that because when you look at the first two series of 1 and 2 and what comes after this, it's full background, like fully illustrated background, not a cosmic border around the characters. But for me, that like I said, this was the first pack of Marvel Super Trading Cards I ever got. I even still remember most of the ones that I got in that one pack.
All right, well, let's hear
it. Origin of Spider-Man, Daredevil, Ghost Rider team up, Venom, The Thing.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Fantastic.
Right on. How many came in
a pack? 12 in a pack.
Fuck, man. That's a decent amount of cards per pack.
Yeah, and it was. And I felt like you got your money's worth, I felt like. My brother, he got a pack too. And I remember he got the Rose and Slug, which is this really fat kind of mob boss villain.
Yeah, we'll get to
those are the ones that stood out. I remember I traded the Origin of Spider-Man card to Matt Hilton because he was my, like when I met him, we were trading cards and he traded, and I think I've shared the story before. Well, I'll get to it when we get to that.
As you're supposed to do with these things, right?
So yeah.
Of course, I never did because I hardly ever traded anything.
Oh yeah, I don't think we'd have gotten along in that regard because I needed people I could trade with. And if you're gonna be like a Josh Rapp, like, oh no, my parents won't let me trade. Like, no, that's just a bullshit lie. You don't want to trade, asshole.
Quicksilver.
Yeah, that's an awesome one. I like that one.
Weapon Omega. I know this would be Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight, and not the Alpha Flight that I've read, even though the rosters pretty much stay the same. I don't know who he is. Like, I know who Vindicator / Guardian is, and Shaman, Sasquatch, Puck, and the two twins, North Star and I forgot. And then you got like Snow Owl, I think, or she's like a shapeshifter. I have no idea who Weapon Omega is.
Just trying to get
illustration.
Get some of these newer characters over.
Yeah.
Doctor
Strange, yeah. Which I've never been a fan of the character, but that's a great looking.
Same boat with you. I've never been like holy shit about him, but anytime you see him in artwork, I'm like, yeah, I love the costume. Love his
if design. He pops up, that's why it's like the episode 7 Little Superheroes. Like he shows up as the roster. Like I love that.
He to me we probably even mentioned this before. To me, he works better as a supporting character as opposed to looking at him as more of a main character to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Major Victory.
He's a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
And he was the leader of that group for a time as well. I don't know too much about because there was like a Guardians of the Galaxy that goes way back, but as you'll see in this card series too, like you've got other members of the Guardians that were a part of this.
Did he show up in the bullshit movies?
I don't think so, but then again, too, I haven't seen any of them. But I didn't hear anything about Major.
I haven't watched. I thought you at least watched the first one.
No, when I saw it was Garrett more towards comedy, I said, "Fuck this! This isn't for me."
Interesting. I don't think I've watched the third one. Black Widow.
It's not her best illustration.
I don't.
But it gets the point across.
It does.
It's flat. It's a flat illustration.
It is. Not a big fan of the costume either, and that just kind of looks like her nipple exploded.
Yeah. Which I remember when I was younger too. I didn't think anything of her. I thought she was such a lame ass character. I didn't think I actually thought she was a villain for the longest time, which she starts out as in the early comics. Like she shows up in Iron Man.
So what turned you to the character?
I think as an adult, kind of getting more acquainted with what her purpose really is. Because she shows up in everything. I mean, she's Allied Captain America. She's she's tagged along with Daredevil. She's had she's been in a relationship with Daredevil. With Punisher. I mean, she has been involved with so many characters. She's definitely one of the
what a whore.
Yeah, she's a whore. She's a Russian whore. Sunfire, and I love Sunfire, but not this design. It's
No.
not bad, but compared to the fire kind of dragon-esque outfit,
Yeah.
there's no comparison.
I get what they're trying to do here, though.
It's changing it up, and it's not a bad design, but I just love the masked outfit where he's got the kind of the dragon mask over his eyes and the red outfit with the
Agreed.
flames.
Yeah.
It just looks fucking awesome.
Got the Marvel Legend over there on the show.
Yeah. It's amazing. I love Sunfire, though. Silver Surfer fucking rocks there.
Surfer's always good. I might get that Diamond Select PVC statue that's coming out later this year. So
I saw Big Bad already sold out of the pre-orders.
Oh, really? Fuck.
Yeah, because I was like, I kept, because they're you have to pay a deductible to get it. Like, they had done like an advance, like I think $30, something like that. So I kept waiting, and sure enough, it said it was sold out.
Well, you're talking about the premier statue to go with your Thor, correct?
Oh yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about.
I mean, that would be nice, but I was just thinking like the Marvel gallery deal. Well, actually, looking at it now, kind of, I'm not a big fan of what they got around the hands, but yeah, unfortunately with Silver Surfer, I need to read more Silver Surfer, honestly, and I kind of feel like I would kind of well, aside from some of the stuff that you've recommended to me that I've read and I've really enjoyed, I feel like I still need to consume more Silver Surfer because I really like the character.
He's great, and my brother still, I think it's his favorite superhero. Like he's read a lot of the '80s run and into the '90s. Like he likes to collect Silver Surfer. He always liked to draw characters that almost reminiscent of Silver Surfer, like his own kind of,
cosmic creations.
Yeah, kind of thing like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kick-ass card. Phoenix. This is.
Yeah, I don't.
That's not good.
No, and as an X-Men fan, I've never been a big fan of that character, like Jean Grey being consumed by this entity, and I'm like,
I agree. Yeah. Oh, but why do you think that is? I think maybe for me, it's where they just overplayed the episodes of the animated series constantly.
And
it's like 6 parts, 5 parts.
Yeah, and then you got the Phoenix Saga, then the Dark Phoenix Saga. Like, motherfucker! Yeah. Like, as a kid, I was just like, I did not care for Jean Grey other than she's Wolverine's main squeeze and Cyclops' girlfriend, because that's all she ever really did in the show. And then she gets this big storyline, and I just did not care about it because I want to see Wolverine and Gambit and more action. I did not give a fuck about the Phoenix.
Give me more Nightcrawler and Colossus too.
Absolutely, that's all I wanted to see, and knowing. Yes. Oh my God. And a Hulk. Even though this is his current look, this is not a good.
No, dude, this is a dog shit look for Hulk here.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
Do you any idea storyline wise with this look? What exactly is
this? Was a more smart Hulk, like Hulk that was intelligent and was talking, and but that's all I really know. Like he was, speaking intelligently, And that is a storyline Matt tried to explain to me in this little map that Wizard Magazine put out, like the history of like the evolution of Hulk in the comics. I couldn't fucking understand
it. I believe it.
Yeah.
This is a great. This
one fucking rocks.
I like this.
Fuck yeah, dude. This is awesome.
Did you get the She-Hulk Legend?
I haven't yet because when she was released, I had to watch the money, but she's in my basket on Amazon.
Oh, dude, I know. I got it. It's great fucking
top
figure.
Notch, yeah.
Yeah. The size proportion is correct when you stand her next to other characters. She towers over it. Looks amazing. That might be, I think, so far for me, easily my top Marvel Legend release this year.
That's awesome. Well, I was so impressed by the sculpt.
If Joe would do it, I'm so tempted to buy another one, get it sent to him so he could do the Fantastic Four.
Well, you know what would happen if he did? Like,
because I would love to take that and put it on the Fantastic Four shelf with her.
Oh, you better just getting Rebecca to do it. I'm sure she'd do it, and it actually would get returned back to you.
I'll just make my own, and it'll look like shit. But this is a great card.
Yeah, she's sexy. She's sexy and strong at the same time. Like something that they can't seem to quite mesh is like, She-Hulk is supposed to be strong, but she's also supposed to be an attractive woman, not this big, bulky, Shrek monstrosity that Disney put together.
Deucin says I prefer original She-Hulk.
I'm assuming. Well, I guess he's talking about the very early one, like the one that's. Deucin, are you referring to the because this is more based on when John Byrne started working on She-Hulk and brought her back, and
I'll put it up on the screen when he replies. Captain Britain.
He's a character I've never really. He's the leader of Excalibur, which is like England's version of the X-Men that Nightcrawler and Shadowcat joined up with.
Yeah, which I think we'll see on the team card, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but I like to get the Marvel Legend of him because he comes with that awesome-looking Shadowcat. I just have yet to pull the trigger on it, but my only attachment to him was I remember he was one of the earliest Marvel Universe trading cards from Series 1 that I remember Matt Dobbins traded to me in second grade.
Oh, Matt Dobbins, man. My teammate. So I played shortstop. He played second base. So we were just like the double play team. I was gonna say DP team, but I'm just like, nope.
Yeah. Don't say that there.
Yeah. That's not right. But yeah, like him and I. Gosh, man, I think that lasted like 3-4 years.
Because he was on your Super Nintendo King Griffey Jr. game, right? Like, didn't you put him as one of the guys on your team?
Yeah. So the whole thing is the team that I was on at the time when that. So King Griffey Jr. Baseball came out. I think came out in '93, almost '94, but that was the strike season. But not like I played that game like 95, 96 and so on. But during that time period, the little league recreational team I was on was called the Mariners. So I just went in because you could edit the names in that game and just put all my teammates in there. Like everybody was in there. But yeah, him and I was second. He played second. I played shortstop, and that was 3-4 years because what would happen is they would have the different age groups. So it'd be, I think it was 9 and under was still T-ball, but you'd have like 9-10-year-old league, 11-12-year-old league, 13-14-year-old league. And then I think it went 15-16 and then like it stopped. But him and I, dude, man, it's like communication was there. Like that was a lot of fun. I think one night, maybe last year or something, like I messaged him or he messaged me and we were just like chatting about, I should have asked him about these trading cards, but yeah, we were just reminiscing about playing baseball together and like dating the same girl. Like he would date her at one point and then I would date her later on or vice versa. Interesting times. Weird. Weird how like intertwined all this is. And then not only that, but we both have varying degrees of stories about the same person.
I think initially, because this was my introduction. Well, the look. I think the first time I ever saw him was in Marvel Masterpieces Series 1.
I have the first issue of this iteration of the character. So it's just. I mean, whatever. It's just like the Power Man. When I think of Luke Cage, visually, instantly, it's that 70s Power Man design, and I can never get past that.
Me neither. And
any other look of him, I'm just like, no, I'm okay.
No, because it's something that it's like you're shying away from the superhero aspect. Like, keep the character the same, but have got to come up with something better.
I get it though. I get it because like the cultural shift in the early 90s is going more towards an urban, grittier, like everything was getting grittier at this point.
Well, and I can understand like why he needed to have a change, but just put him in just generic clothing, and the character still is in generic clothing. He may wear like a gold colored T-shirt, but he's wearing jeans and a T-shirt in the same meeting as Captain America, Spider-Man, and Wolverine and Iron Man. Like, it's just from a visual standpoint, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't need. I need my heroes to look unique and different, and it just doesn't look quite right. If this is what he's like, when he's just in it, at home, or like, going to the grocery store and stops and mugging or something like that. That's one thing. But he has to have an outfit that when he's ready to go against some serious foes, we need to know this is still Power Man.
Yeah. Yeah. And they did this a lot too, where it's the names are shorter. Like they're like doing the wrestling thing. It's like, no, he can't have a first and last name. It's just got to be one thing. It sucks. It sucks. Domino
looks good, very good.
Yeah. I don't know a ton about the character, but I've always been intrigued by the design. And
she's definitely one of the original X-Force, and that is the design. So when they decide to have her in Deadpool 2, and no, we'll just get an actress and just paint a circle over her eye, and that'll be that.
I mean, to be fair though, the actress that played her pretty hot, honestly.
Well, she was hot, but I'm like, that's not what Domino looks like.
Yeah. Daredevil, love it.
Daredevil, very dynamic.
Yeah.
Along the rooftops there, it's simple, but I like it.
Yeah, could have been a little bit better, but I like
I like the just the mid-air pose. Like I mean, you could be. I mean, I expected him to be leaping in the air.
Yeah,
something like some sort of like acrobatic. This fucking rocks. Yeah, Morbius. This was when Morbius became a good guy, and they're bringing him back, and it just kind of was another one of those failed attempts to get someone over. And I mean, they put him in Spider-Man. They give him his own book. Made him part of the Midnight Suns storyline with Ghost Rider and Venom and Spider-Man, Plasma. But I like both looks of Morbius. I like the classic 70s look where he's a bad guy who's struggling with his problem, and then this one where he feeds on criminals.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I love the character. Good
to have a character like that you can just sort of bounce
back. And there's what's cool is like Dick, looking back into what a lot of the Marvel stuff was in the 70s, where they have a lot of Universal monster inspired characters in the mythology, like Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula, the Mummy. There was a brief run called The Living Mummy, where a black character, an African prince, was taken prisoner by an Egyptian warlord and mummified the guy. And he shows back up in modern day, and he's not a bad guy at all. But it was just like, wow. I mean, they were trying to just like, no, we're gonna have a mummy. We're gonna make him an African prince who comes back in modern day and sees a woman that I think is reminiscent of someone that he was in love with back then too. And that's a storyline. I don't know how good it is, but his first issue
sounds intriguing.
Yeah, the first issue, and it was part of a series called Supernatural Thrillers.
I'm going to assume it's not on the Unlimited app, or is it?
No, it is not. No, it's pretty fucking obscure.
Yeah, great. I'm not
this sucks.
Not good.
It's fucking ugly.
But Nightcrawler rules.
Nightcrawler is one of my favorite X-Men, but this is an embarrassment to the character. Yeah, this is someone trying to be edgy and different. Like, no, you just suck.
Yeah, doesn't work out.
No. It's just ugly when you have all these other pretty, some of them are okay, but that was bad. This is a pretty good Black Panther.
Yeah, not bad.
I think this is probably my favorite look, other than I like the solid black with like the gold necklace and the kind of the gold like eyes. And are
you not a big fan of first appearance with the cape?
No, I like that one too with the cape. But there's something about the solid because it's very ninja like.
Yeah.
Like just there's no cloak, no cape, nothing fancy on him. It's just a solid black outfit.
That's not bad.
No, I like it. I like it a lot.
Ant-Man.
That's a good Ant-Man because as small as these pictures have to be, you get enough of the character. We're seeing like the pencil, an ant, and an electrical socket right there to give you an idea. If you don't know who this character is, and the name doesn't tell you enough, this picture tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This came in my first pack of cards. Ghost Rider, just the single Ghost Rider card. Yeah.
Danny Catch Ghost Rider, baby.
No, and it did not take long to like, who the hell is this guy, man? This is a superhero.
Love the bike design. Just I think so far this is my favorite card.
My God, it's and you think like, how the hell do you top this look? And they have tried so many different incarnations of Ghost Rider, and
it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Darkhawk. Yeah, get some new warriors going here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful illustration, Darkhawk.
Yeah.
A character that just never, one of those new guys that Marvel tried to push, and he just never quite.
It didn't quite take off.
No, not really. It's a great design though.
I like it a
Cool
lot.
name.
Yeah. Iceman.
Yeah, this was my first pack of cards. Was Iceman.
Yeah,
And,
kind of okay.
I like it. It's fine. It's not mind blowing like a Joe Jusko.
Seems like they're kind of struggling with X-Men related cards.
Not all of them.
No, not all of them, but so far.
No, so far, yeah, they have not been the top notch. This is John Romita's Punisher, which I remember getting an issue of the
What's
War.
he on? What's he on right now, man?
I don't know.
Lack of sleep.
Probably, because Punisher strikes me as someone who doesn't sleep much. But it's not Punisher's finest.
No. I
Which
wouldn't.
is a shame because Mark Texeira worked on Punisher too, and I guess they just pulled it because he was doing I think War Journal or no Warzone. He was doing Punisher Warzone. I remember getting a comic of that, just thinking it looked ugly, but it was Punisher, and I'm like,
yeah, it's kind of one of those things, I guess, at the time period where you just buy it because of the character.
Yeah.
And then you read it, it's like, or look at it, and you're like, yeah, this art.
Yeah, I can't get past this shitty artwork, even as a kid.
Yeah, not a good Punisher here.
No. Wolfsbane from X Factor. Don't really have much to say on her. It's not a bad illustration, but
yes, not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Storm.
That's a fun little illustration. Probably one of the better ones of the X-Men that we've seen so far.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
just her flying around, being Aurora Monroe.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't have more weather effect back.
They should have, but I guess given the lack of background you had to work with, you could have put a lightning bolt in there or something like that.
Yeah, so just a little something.
Yeah. Wonder Man. I don't care for this card.
What about the character?
I didn't like him at all as a kid. I thought he was a bit of a dork, but I've grown to appreciate him a lot more as an adult. His design to me, I thought was pretty lame. As a kid, I just thought like Wonder Man. What a shitty name for a superhero. Wonder Woman's one thing, but Wonder Man, this guy looks like an idiot, an asshole.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Yeah,
that's a good card.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, simple but effective. And it's all. Yeah, this was my first pack of cards, and I was somewhat familiar with the Fantastic. Not a whole lot though at this point, so it was cool to have him.
Yeah, it's a good. It's
a great illustration.
Reed Richards card.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like the fist stretching out.
Yeah, it's not. They gave you so little to work with, but it gets the point across of who Mr. Fantastic or what he can do. Invisible Woman, I like it just because it's simple, but you got the Baxter building behind her.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do more to like any translucent.
Yeah,
maybe like half body translucent.
Yeah,
instead.
I think the name alone would tell anyone who's new like myself. And Paul Ryan, as you'll see his illustration, that was the current. He's one of my favorite Fantastic Four artists.
Got a little Aaron Fry going on there.
Yeah.
A little reference for Tyler. Shadowcat.
I like Shadowcat, but that's not a very good illustration of her. It's not as bad as Nightcrawler's, but it's just not pretty to look at.
Yeah, a little face not too great. Opinions on the character of Shadowcat?
She's Sprite / Kitty Pryde. She's had multiple names, but she's the X-Men who can phase through stuff. It's a cool character. I wouldn't put her. If I was like assembling my own team of X-Men, she wouldn't be on my team, but I like the character still.
Yeah. Same.
Psylocke and Rogue would be my two go-tos of the girls.
Oh, absolutely.
Adam Warlock. Don't know anything about him, but he's a striking character. And actually, upon doing this discussion, I was like, I really need to sit down and read his Marvel Premiere issue, which I think he's in the first issue of Marvel Premiere. He's more of one of the cosmic characters, which I've never ever, other than Silver Surfer, and that's because of his attachment to the Fantastic Four. I've never could get into the cosmic characters. I like my characters on Earth.
That's
totally
understandable.
Yeah, it's just my thing. But he's a cool looking character, and it's a cool name, Adam Warlock.
What are you opinions on this specific design? Because he's gone through multiple design changes.
He has. This one's good because it's Joe Jusko did him for Marvel Masterpieces, and that's a beautiful looking painting he did of the character. So it's still the same style, so I like it. Yep,
Gold
love
Cap.
this. Yep, I love this. It's simple Cap running. It's a simple dynamic pose, but he looks great.
Don't need to do much with Cap, really.
No,
I think maybe the only other thing you could potentially do with this card, much like how you have Mr. Fantastic with the arm stretching out of the border, maybe have him throwing.
Yeah, the shield being thrown at you or getting ready to throw it. But him running in a, it's always at his side on his left arm, it's awesome.
You get to see how vascular he is. So.
Yeah.
He's got that Wolverine.
Yes. I'm pretty certain Wolverine was on the pack of cards that I bought. Yeah. And it was this picture.
Get Silvestri.
Yeah, Mark Silvestri, who's one of the best X-Men artists. It looks fucking amazing. Jesus Christ, that's an awesome looking Wolverine. Namor, Eric Larson, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I don't like it at all.
He looks like he's doing that.
No,
just biting his bottom lip.
No, it's even though that's not my favorite look of Submariner. I prefer like Submariner and just the green Speedos because that's
just his panties. Yeah.
That's just the classic look of the character.
No, I don't.
And I know like the look that they gave him in the 70s. It put more of a kind of just more clothes on him. But I just something simple about with the visible wings on his feet and the green trunks. I'm like the character is an underwater character. Like having less clothing helps him swim faster.
Yeah.
I just it's
but
unnecessary,
even then,
but I get it.
The face is that's not
good. And that's Eric Larson too. Like he can do better than that.
Yeah, and just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's if that was, and I never saw that card as a kid, but I'm like, oh my god. And I like Namor. Like when I got to know who he was, like he's the Fantastic Four associated character. That's how I knew him as. And
I like just reading him showing up and just the love triangle that. Like he's just trying to pull her away, and it's for the time period too, because you also have to keep that in mind. Just the dialogue involved, sign of the times too. The way that Reed sometimes talks to Sue, and you're just like, holy shit! Like reading it now and looking at it then, like back then they probably weren't thinking too much other than the obvious storytelling elements. You read it now, and you're like, oh my god!
It's like no wonder Sue was like, this other guy, he works out and he's crazy about me. I'm like, why the fuck am I with this guy?
Yeah, he's not lost in his work 24/7.
He wants to make me a queen of his own, underwater kingdom.
Yeah, I love this Nick Fury.
It's not bad, but
I like it a lot.
It's not bad at all. I guess
shows the grit of the character.
It does. I mean, he's chomping. Now today they would never put a cigar in his mouth. It's like, oh my god, what are you trying to say?
Yeah, you can't smoke indoors anymore.
No, but. Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's just because I've just never been a Nick Fury fan at all.
Not even when Hasselhoff played him?
No. I always see him as that asshole who shows up to interfere with like the superhero's journey. Like he's got to show up and say, "Oh, we're taking over here," or "Hey, stop what you're doing. I need your help." We're like, "No, fuck you, Nick Fury." I like this Professor X. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
This one, I'm like, I couldn't tell this is Jim Lee or one of the Kubert or Andy Kubert. I couldn't find the signature on there either.
Yeah,
But it looks very reminiscent of Jim Lee's and Andy, and it may be Andy Kubert because his style looked not too far off from how Jim was drawing X-Men at the time.
Yeah,
but it's a great Professor X.
Yeah. It does what it needs to. Hover chair.
Yeah, given those kind of he's not shooting mental blast, but he's emoting mental energy from his mind.
Got the mansion in the background.
Absolutely, dude.
Shatterstar.
This is awesome.
I don't know anything about this character. What can you tell me about Shatterstar?
He's a warrior from another galaxy that just kind of shows up by accident.
Is this kind of more intertwined with like your Cable Bishop kind of stuff? Or
not really.
It's just separate from that entirely.
Yeah,
I know nothing about this character other than I think I have one of the Toy Biz.
Yeah,
the giant because
the 12-inch ones.
Because it came in like a was like a lot or something. When we went to one of the flea markets, it was just
Uh-huh.
like, oh, look, I'm like, all right, well, this character, like design wise, I'll just pick that. Either that or maybe my dad just bought a bunch of shit and was like, here
Yeah.
you go, son. I'm like, what is this?
No,
I know nothing about Shatterstar.
Yeah, he's a swordsman or a warrior from like another galaxy or dimension or something. And he just kind of, I forgot how he shows up, but he shows up and, he's, willing to like, team up with the group and become a member of X-Force like pretty early on. Like he's in like someone.
Looks cool. I like the
Well,
idea.
and like when you look at the way Rob Liefeld drew him,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very dynamic, very a beautiful looking character, like a serious ass kicker. Like
I have to read more.
Yeah,
Read more on
absolutely.
Shatterstar.
He's a great looking character.
By the Marvel Legend.
Oh yeah,
Multiple man.
It's simple but effective, and it's not very dynamic or action packed.
It works. This
it
card
works.
Yeah,
and it looks cool.
Yeah.
The X Factor like outfit with the trench coat. I mean, that's the multiple man look, and I don't want to see anything else. Deathlock has looked so much more badass than that. That's
absolutely.
It's pretty fucking shitty.
Because it's kind of hindered by just shadow work, too.
Yeah, but even then, it's a very clunky looking design.
Yeah,
it's just like when you see like some others that he's got better trading cards. Before and after.
Yep.
This is beautiful. Yeah.
Not entirely crazy about the face, but everything else about it, I like a lot.
See, I think the whole ensemble looks amazing. I think the face looks great.
It's not bad.
No, I mean, but hey, I thought Nick Fury's was like, it's not bad, but I'm like, I think this is a great rendition of Colossus.
Yeah.
This is the definitive look. I don't care for any other look. The red and yellow, that is it. It begins and ends with that.
Yeah, it's just got to be old Hulk Hogan. All right,
yep.
we have this version of Thor.
Yeah, the Eric Masterson Thor who replaced the original Thor for a brief time as Thor and as one of the Avengers as well. Loki did something to Thor, and I remember reading it when it happened. But he's considered, worthy, and I'm sure it was just a change up. But then the original Thor will show up, and and then him and Beta Ray Bill and the original Thor all team up for the Thor Corps, which is a trading card in the set.
It's a card in the set.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was one of the cards I also got too.
Deucin has this dumbass question. In his metallic form, does Colossus poop iron?
I'm sure he probably doesn't poop when he's in his metal form, period. Namorita.
Oh man, she's hot. This is not her finest look, but she's hot. She is hot.
I agree, and this is definitely not the her finest look.
No,
like even though I'm not a fan of like the Wilson Phillips hairdo, she's wearing that she's wearing in the Joe Jusko Marvel Masterpiece, and she looks pretty damn good in that. But this is just not a great illustration of the character. And she shows up, and this is why I want to cover this with Nathan. I'm sure Deucen's got some behind-the-scenes stuff, too, is the Wrath of the Submariner episode, where she gets poisoned from the Kingpin dumping toxic waste into the ocean and is putting a team up with Silvermane and Hammerhead and, oh, my God, another one of the mob bosses shows up. And Man Mountain Marco's in it as well. Like, it's an episode that has a whole bunch of characters in it.
Yeah,
and Namorita's in it as well, and I'm like, this is like a fun Submariner-based episode with all these crime bosses showing up. Like, we need to cover that at some point.
Oh boy,
Psylocke fucking rocks because she's fucking hot.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah,
she's great.
Yeah,
not a bad card either.
No, it's a great pose.
Yeah,
very cool.
Warpath.
I think he looks a bit disproportionate, but it still looks cool though.
Yeah, I mean, this arm definitely seems way bigger than this one.
Yes, it's just
which makes no sense because this arm is closer to you than the other. So.
And I get what, and I believe this is a Mark Texeira card, but it just looks like the proportions of his upper body are thrown off. Like it's just something he just didn't catch or whatever. But it still looks cool.
What do you think about character-wise?
I like it because he's the brother of Thunderbird, who was killed off 2 issues after his first appearance. But I like this look of the character. They have since changed it and kind of give him a more slicker look, but I love the throwback to his Native American heritage. Like I don't like shying away from that and thinking it's stereotypical. No, it looks really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But the modern look looks cool too. Nomad is a Captain America character I don't know that much about.
This card looks cool though.
Yeah, and he's carrying a child on his back, which on the Marvel Masterpiece is a child with an eyepiece, and he's holding it, firing his gun, and it's a wanted poster.
Yeah.
It's a very cool looking card.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, like I think because of that card, I was intrigued by the character, but I never was able to, not much as it was accessible to figure out who a lot of these characters were. So.
Got his own book too, right?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, there's another one of those characters they tried to push real hard and it just didn't quite.
Yeah, the '90s did a lot of that. Early '90s. I mean, not to say they didn't do it every decade, but I guess around this time frame, you start to realize how many new characters are being brought up and pushed and brought to the forefront.
Well, I guess when you think about it, it's like, all right, we can't just keep relying on all these other characters, even though here we are today. But that I guess good to see that they're like, all right, hey, let's just throw shit at the wall and see if something really sticks.
I mean, you look back at some of the characters that they released in the 60s and 70s. I mean, there's some really dog shit characters that, not only is it a shitty name, a shitty design, and Nomad didn't look like that originally.
This is a good looking card, though.
It is. It looks awesome.
Yeah, this card you look at, it's like, I want to know more about Nomad. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Not art-wise, I'm like, okay, but
and this is Mark Texeira too.
But Blaze, man, like, god damn it, give me a Marvel Legend of this, please. Now that you're releasing the Danny Ketch Deluxe Ghost Rider with this motorcycle, please give me a Blaze. Yeah, I love the idea that we have a new Ghost Rider. Here's Johnny Blaze. He's got long hair. He's got a trench coat. He's got his shotgun.
And he's grizzled and he's seen a lot of shit.
90s as fuck, man. Like, you could easily see, I think we've talked about this before, you could see a Blaze, Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, HBO animated series in the same look and tone of Spawn.
Spawn, yep.
God, it would fucking rule. Love Blaze, man. It's great.
Absolutely. Megan, a member of Excalibur, and I don't know much about her after that. Yeah, I think she's Captain Britain's girlfriend, I think, or main squeeze, but that may be even just a stretch. Yeah. Don't know. I can't really say too much. Cable.
Yeah.
Looks like Cable.
Yeah, big bulky motherfucker.
Yeah, with guns and ready to whip some ass. So it's another Mark Texeira, and not bad.
Yeah, I like some Cable.
Yep. Polaris, I like her because she's hot with green hair.
Yeah.
She's just a beautiful girl, and Havoc's girlfriend, and I believe she was Iceman's girl at one point, way early on.
They all get around, man.
They do, but she has been Havoc's girl for a long time, and I believe she is one of the children of Magneto as well. It's not just Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, but Polaris is also his daughter.
And if I'm not mistaken, Marvel Legend wise, like this team is filled out pretty well.
Yeah, the X Factor 2-pack, which I still have yet to get, but I've always wanted to get the Havoc and Polaris 2-pack.
Because we'll get to Havoc. I love this design of Havoc.
Yeah. Charlie 27, I think he's one of the Guardians of the Galaxy at this time, along with Major Victory and Starhawk and a couple of others.
Kind of
reminds me of I don't know
flat
anything
top.
of him. Yeah, very flat top like.
Yeah, looks like Dick Tracy villain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ah yes. This card was so impressionable, and very reminiscent of the Marvel Superheroes Toy Biz figure that Nathan got for me, Men on Card.
Yeah.
Because it comes with a Yancey Street post that the thing can break apart.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect illustration by Paul Ryan of the thing.
One of, if not my favorite character in the Marvel Universe. And I'm so happy we'll briefly touch on this. I'm glad that this Fantastic Four movie is going to be a 60s period piece. Hey, good. And it supposedly, allegedly, will have nothing to do with the rest of the MCU. I'm like, yes.
Thank God.
This seems like their way of being like, all right, let's just sort of I don't want to say reboot, but I guess reboot.
I would so love to have Spider-Man brought into the '60s, the X-Men brought into the '60s, even though they've already done that before. Just have all these guys like a Doctor Doom in the '60s, like
or
see
just
that.
simply leave this in the '60s. If you do another Spider-Man movie, have it take place in a. I don't want shit to be intertwined as much. Let's just tell good stories and make them period pieces.
They've already accomplished the epic team-up movie, and it was very successful. Okay, leave it alone.
Let's change the strategy a little bit.
Yeah, let's go back to having solo films that have one good story. If it does great, you get a shit ton of other heroes and villains that you can bring into a sequel if it does well.
Give me. We've mentioned this before. Give me Daredevil and Iron Fist and Power Man in the '70s,
and Blade in the '70s.
Blade in the '70s.
Oh,
Punisher in the '80s.
Oh my God, yes.
Just make them period pieces and don't. You can have some of them connect. Like, I think having like Daredevil and Iron Fist and Power Man in the '70s, and we talked about that, you could make that work. But also, some of the shit doesn't need to be feature films. You can go and do TV, or you can make it animated. You have options. Just don't make everything feel like it's got to connect together. Anyway, sorry. Longshot. Longshot's a fantastic character.
It's a cool character, and it's a great fun design, and this is a great representation of the character.
Yeah, absolutely. More Longshot, please. Human Torch.
Looks great.
Yeah, classic look here.
I love it.
Yeah. I guess the only thing that would be missing is just like where he's going like this, just having a 4 in the flames or something.
Yeah. But it almost looked like this is one where he's kind of coming from low level, going up further, like he's heading, towards something bigger up in the sky, and with his fist, clenched, like he's ready to launch like a fireball here in a moment.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to fuck up the Human Torch.
Night Thrasher. Love some Night Thrasher. I'll say this again. Check out New Warriors if you liked teams, if that's what you kind of gravitate towards when it comes to reading Marvel comics. Go with New Warriors. They push them pretty hard at the beginning, and it's actually very grounded, and also gets really serious and dark early on. I haven't went in and jumped back into where I had left off like a long while back, but I really took to this team quite a bit. I'm sure it'll start to trail off, much like a lot of these comics sort of did in the 90s. Start off strong and then kind of reach like that point where it's like, okay. I feel like once the artist changes hands, once they want to like change the logo and you're only maybe like 40 issues in, you're like, all right, time to jump off. But I mean, I love the look of this character.
Yeah, he's definitely the most striking of the group, in my opinion. Like, he looks like a leader. He looks like an armored ninja, and his weapons are just these batons that he can beat the fuck out of you with, because he's just a very skilled fighter. And
he's got a skateboard.
He's got that. And I need Nathan to read the Round Robin storyline too, where he's featured prominently in that.
Yeah.
Nova.
Yeah. I got a lot to read because I asked Tyler for recommendations on Mysterio as well, because like I've read a couple things, but I'm like, hey, and he came through and gave me a list. Siren
is a member of X-Force, and she's Banshee's cousin. And she's pretty much the same powers as Banshee, as a sonic scream that helps her, and she can fly with it.
And her Marvel legend is quite the peg warmer.
Yeah,
I feel like I see it everywhere I go.
Yeah, she's not a very in high demand character, especially when she's pretty much the exact same thing as her cousin. Yeah. And Banshee, I don't know, I like Banshee a lot. I just something about that character I just think is cool. But
yeah, I mean, Banshee, of course, being featured more prominently in X-Men. Like you have Siren here is taking a back seat to a different kind of team. It's like it's like even as a kid, did you look at it like that? You're like, all right, X-Force, X Factor. You're like, this isn't X-Men.
Yeah, pretty much. Even though there was members of X-Force, especially like Cable, I thought looked awesome. But the X-Men, that was like the top of the mountain. Like if you weren't part of that team,
Yeah.
I mean, you were backseat. You know, you were not. You know, even if you're members of X Men, I was like, still,
Yeah.
you're a member of X Men.
Yeah.
I think this is Eric Larson's Nova.
I like the perspective
I
that he's
do
so
too.
high up you can see the city. Like that's nice. It's okay. This card's all right.
It's not bad. It's better
Yeah.
than his Submariner.
Yeah. Nova's a fun character too.
Yeah, he is.
Iron Man.
It's simple. It's not bad. I like it.
Yeah.
It makes me think of the Toy Biz toy from the Marvel Superheroes toy line at the time because the attachments to put the arm on was a bit bulky.
This makes me honestly think of the design that was used in the fighting games, the Capcom games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very.
That's my kind of Iron Man. Like that's still like the Iron Man I like is the one that was used in the early '90s and probably the '70s.
Can't wait for that that fighting game collection to come out. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be badass, dude.
Yeah, Tyler's gonna come over. I'm gonna kick his ass. It's gonna be great.
Oh, they'll only do that if we play King Griffey Jr. baseball.
Archangel.
Fucking rocks.
This is you and I both agree this is our favorite version of the character.
Yeah, I've seen him in later years where he's got the blue skin and he's got blonde, like short blonde hair, and he had like a little blonde facial hair.
This is it. No, this is
but
it.
That is the definitive look, though. I mean, it will never get any better than this, and it makes the character Angel, which you're like, how do you go from? Because I saw this first, and then you realize that this was done to him by Apocalypse, and he was really Angel with just, feathery wings. You're like, oh god, that kind of pales in comparison to this. I mean, this is where it's at, man.
Great design. I actually, as a kid, had the Toy Biz
one. Yeah,
I mean,
I remember thinking it was kind of underwhelming because the wings just didn't do a whole lot. They kind of
but. At the time, as a kid, like this is the only thing that exists.
Well, and I think too, because I remember, those first several years of Toy Biz figures, man. Like I couldn't get enough of them, man. But I was so spoiled by that, how awesome that Wolverine figure was. It was like like Nightcrawler had that damn suction cup on his knee.
Yeah, that shit sucked.
Got in the way. Colossus could only pick the weight up, so unless you want to put someone in his arms for him to like lift up.
Yeah.
Whereas Wolverine, like you could put a sword in his hand, put his claws out. It just felt like it was a little bit more dynamic with that. Like God, everyone else has got something stuck on their fucking body. Rogue.
Oh man.
Yeah, she's awesome. Another Sylvester classic there.
Love some
Jim Lee and Andy Drew were the best, but this is still good.
It's
yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, I like it.
Silver Sable.
This looks fugly here. Her head is misshaped.
It's not great.
No.
A big 5 head going on there.
Yeah, it's not great. I've never been too big on the character anyway. She's just kind of like,
Yeah, that's fair.
Another gun for hire. She's a woman. She's pretty, but I'm just like, she just doesn't do anything. Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. We kind of covered this.
It's a great look at the character. Like she is an important member of the X-Men, and I'll always love that look. But I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah, especially when I got Rogue, and it's just kind of like, okay.
She's more Rogue is more fun. Rogue and Psylocke are more fun. They're more fun to look at, and they're just more fun people.
Well, personality wise, they're very like they bubbly, fun. Yeah, sexy.
Yeah,
like Jean is very straight laced.
I don't know. I guess you could say she's kind of wholesome a little bit, but maybe not really.
Boring.
Yeah,
I know nothing about this character.
Farrell, she's part of X-Force. She's kind of like their equivalent of Wolfsbane, but Farrell's a fun character, feisty. I mean,
it's cool that we have other characters.
The rest of the members of X-Force there in the back behind her, but she's a founding member of X-Force. Cyclops.
This is a cool card because we have him just standing here, but then instead of doing like a city background like we've seen for most of these, we have him shooting his optic blast.
Because it helps get the point across of like, he's called Cyclops, but why is he called that? And I think it's important to show him depicting his power as opposed to like standing in front of a building, a city, or an explosion. Like, no, show him this is where you need to show what he can do.
Yeah. And my opinion on him has changed.
Yes, it has. Which
I've come around to the leaders of teams, because before I'm just like, yeah, they're too like, I'm the leader.
Nathan was very anti-authority and still is to a certain
Absolutely. But I've come around. I can respect your Cyclopses, your Leonardos.
Yeah.
But I'm always in my heart of hearts, I'm like, personality wise, I'm more of the Wolverine. I'm more of the Raphael. I'm the one that's going to be there. Not necessarily. I mean, I guess in some cases they've made their case for us, like, I should be running the ship, but just how they are and how they interact with the leader of the team, questioning their methods and how they're talking to people, et cetera, et cetera. I've always been that counterbalance to your wholesome goody leader. Starhawk,
Guardians of the Galaxy. Know nothing of him.
Yeah, just I look at his costume and it made it. I can't place it, but it reminds me of something. I don't know.
Kind of reminiscent of Quasar's cape, which is looks like.
No, I'm not even thinking like comic character wise. Like, I just look at this outfit and it makes me think of something like maybe like Little Debbie Star. Was it Star Crunch?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Box.
Yeah. Okay, I get it because I know what you're talking about.
Let me look it up on my phone really quick, just to. Maybe maybe vintage packaging, a little more reminiscent of it, but I don't know. Yeah, it just reminds me of like something else. Here we go. I love this design Havoc a lot.
That's my favorite too. That was my introduction. Like, not this car, but that look of Havoc.
Yeah.
You know, I like the classic, like the old look, but this is like
there's some about this though.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to get any better, in my opinion. Just with the jumpsuit underneath, and you got the jacket and the headpiece that lets his blonde hair kind of flow out.
And not like they've done, because you look at Luke Cage and he's very much like, all right, jacket, blah blah blah. But this works.
There's a lot more pop to his character.
Yeah.
Luke Cage, they got lazy with his update. It's cheap.
Now we're at the team up sections. So we have Spider-Man and Human Torch here.
Yeah, that's a classic team up, and that's one of those that you never get tired of seeing these two team up.
Spider-Man and Ghost Rider. That's pretty badass.
That's always so. Sometimes you feel like, how the hell would a team up like this work? But I just love seeing Ghost Rider and Spider-Man team up.
Yeah. Spider-Man and Punisher.
Punisher, another classic. Spider-Man's teamed up with damn near everybody.
Yeah.
Him and Wolverine have teamed up probably the most. It may be Captain America, but I feel
Punisher doesn't look stoned in this one. So.
No, that's a better John Romita.
Yeah. Spider-Man and Wolverine.
That's another classic team up, dude. There's so many.
At first, when I was saving these, I was like, "Oh, are all the team up cars just Spider-Man and somebody else?"
Yeah. Wolverine's in probably the almost as much as Spider-Man. But Wolverine and Captain America, that's I don't know. There's something about that's a very logical team up.
But at the same time, kind of odd.
Odd because Wolverine doesn't obey by the rules. Cap is all about
about the rules.
Yeah. But they're both men who've lived a long time, who've seen a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And there's a respect that they have towards each other as well. Hulk and Wolverine teaming up. No, they started out as ultimate enemies.
Now they're ultimate friends.
They're ultimate buddies.
Look at Hulk here. He's just like,
It's better than the solo Hulk card he got.
Honestly, dude, this kind of looks like you when you get mad on the show.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I hate to compliment you like that, but even in the face.
I'll take it, man. Hey, you want to say I look like the Hulk? Hey, I'd be more than happy to take that.
Look at us, man.
People
here we are. I don't have hairy arms, but look, here we are, man. That's us.
But I'm not angry like the Hulk either. Even though there's times where I'm like, God, I hate this fucking place. I hate fucking Russo, Yeah. But yeah, I guess it would be you and I.
Wolverine and Cable.
It's a shitty illustration, but a great team up.
This is pretty fucking bad. Like, look at Cable there.
It's just awful. Yeah. Morgan, whoever the fuck you are, your art sucks.
Yeah. Magneto and Dr. Doom.
This is great. Just, the visual alone is.
Yeah, Dr. Doom's like robbing a bank.
Yeah. Give me all your money.
Yeah.
and Magneto's there as backup. I just two of the most intelligent villains in the Marvel universe, and
Magneto's there to like curve the bullets.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But I love seeing Doctor Doom is another one of those guys who's been involved with damn near every single person in the Marvel universe. He's the most versatile villain.
Have you read when Doctor Doom and Daredevil fight each other and they swap bodies?
Yep.
I was like, huh? All right,
That's all
sure.
I'll say about that.
I was like, the cover I was intrigued by the cover. I was like, all right, yeah. I was like, Daredevil and Doctor Doom. I'm like, wait, it's Freaky Friday over here?
Yeah, I mean,
that might be something we need to cover one day just to laugh at.
Yeah.
Because it's. I'm like, why would you do this of all things?
There is one of Texera's best here. This fucking rocks.
Yeah, this is awesome, man.
This would be a great poster.
We had this from Febmon. Tyler as Colossus, Nathan as Johnny. I'll be Blaze. I'll put a ponytail.
I love to be Colossus. Absolutely. I love playing as him in the X-Men arcade game.
Yeah. Captain America and Nomad. Which this is the other design you were talking about, right? Or is this?
This is the second look, because he starts out kind of looking like a Bucky ripoff.
Yeah,
I believe. But
well,
compared to the Lorenzo Lama as Renegade look.
That's a good reference there.
Yeah, it's hard.
God, I haven't thought about that fucking shit in forever. But it's very, very similar.
Yeah.
Fire and Ice.
The torch. Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, I like this. It's a natural team up.
Yeah,
it's a shame, even though I like Firestar, but we were supposed to have gotten Human Torch in that Amazing Friends cartoon, and it's a shame. It would have been awesome, U.S. Agent and Cap. I like that, and Steve Rogers was U.S. Agent for a time. And then, I can't remember what it was. Like, he had to give up being Captain America, and this was kind of like his way of kind of getting back into action.
Yeah, he pulled a Dusty Rhodes, huh?
Yeah,
put a mask on him. It's like,
he's back. But then I forgot the guy that comes in and actually takes over the U.S. Agent. I mean, it's a great look. I love the look of the U.S. Agent. Still have not read a whole lot about him, but I just always thought it was such a cool look. Of, it's Captain America, but it's a great kind of variant on the costume. Some people would say, "Oh, it's just black Captain America outfit," but it looks cool though.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Yeah,
Daredevil.
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. We need, if anything, we need more of that. Two guys with very heightened senses.
Yeah.
Vision,
Scarlet
Vision One. I mean, they are probably the longest running couple in the Marvel universe. They've been together a long time, and I like it.
Hellboy Punisher, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Once again, Deathlock does not look good here.
No, it's better than his own solo car, but it's not great.
Not by much.
No.
I actually, speaking of me saying Hellboy, I thought about maybe, because it's like $50 to get like those 4 books. Because I've never read Hellboy before, and I like the idea behind the character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want to maybe dig into some Hellboy.
Go for it, dude. Pull the trigger.
Yeah. Kind of wouldn't mind rewatching that first movie, and I know that if you from the opinion that I've gathered on the internet, if you read the comics, of course, the movie takes a lot of liberties.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was more of Guillermo del Toro trying to just make it a little like
more mainstream, probably
like upbeat with the way that the character is. But yeah, I was thinking about reading some Hellboy comics.
Just go for it.
Here we go. Thor core that Tyler was referring to earlier.
Yeah, and I wouldn't know who. It didn't register me. I didn't know much about Thor or damn near anything. But Beta Ray Bill, I wouldn't see him until I picked up an issue of Thor, and he was on the cover in the 90s. I just thought he was such a cool looking character.
Yes.
That was it. I'm like, I don't know. Is he a horse? I couldn't read the stories because I just looked at the pictures and I just thought like, oh my god, he looks awesome.
Yeah,
And that's all I needed to know.
And then when you go and read his first appearance, just like holy, like fucking,
it's awesome.
I can't wait to get that statue whenever the fuck it's gonna come out. Looking forward to that a lot. Spider-Man and Darkhawk.
And they team up. And he's part of the round robin storyline. Like he shows up pretty early on, along with Nova, Night Thrasher, the Punisher, Moon Knight, because the villain is Moon Knight's former apprentice.
I gotta read it.
Yeah,
I bought all the issues.
Yeah, you gotta read it, dude.
Bought them all that day. Hearts of Darkness, right here.
Yeah, I remember. I can't remember if it was Matt Dobbins or Matt Hilton that had this, and it was like one of those books that trade back and forth because it was like, oh man, Punisher, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider all teaming up to fight Blackheart.
Yeah,
and it was John Romita's ugly ass artwork, but it was more about the team up.
That was
all it was about.
On paper, this kicks a lot of ass.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I haven't read that in years. Wonder Man and Beast, it's a former Avenger teammates teaming up, and I mean anything with Beast is cool. But I've grown to like Wonder Man a little bit more, but it's just kind of yeah. Like this was my first pack of trading cards. Was this team up?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot of these kind of street level superheroes team up a lot. Even though Ghost Rider is very supernatural, he is still street level. Like he's not going to be going up against Galactus. I'll just say that.
Yeah, well, this is where Deuce and Pop sounds like, but he took him out in the cartoon. Fantastic Four cartoon.
Yeah, he'll say that and like, well, they did a lot of stuff in that Fantastic Four cartoon. I think this trading card was either mine or my brother's first pack of cards. And I remember thinking Wolverine's mask, like, what the hell's going on with his mask? Like, it was just
what
excessively long.
Everything is.
Yeah.
Even on the legs.
He has boots.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unique and different and interesting, but like,
too different.
Yeah.
Classic.
Classic team up. Not the best illustration. Who the hell is that? Oh, it's John Romita.
Yeah, it's John Romita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a team up that never gets old, though. Seeing those two team up.
Daredevil.
Black Widow and Daredevil, classic.
Yeah, because they're fucking.
Yeah, they're fucking.
Punisher and Cap.
Yeah, another classic team up. But Cap looks very bloated.
God damn, yeah. He looks like the Tick.
Yeah, he does look like the Tick. Like that is not Captain.
Bloated like a Tick.
Yeah. Like, no, that's not right. Not right at all.
Yeah.
I think it's a John Romita. I don't know. Sleepwalker and Spider-Man. They teamed up on a few occasions, yeah.
I think it's cool. It's like, Sleepwalker in a Spider-Man outfit.
Yeah, I mean, it's Sleepwalker. It's all in dreams and things like that too. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, not of course not the best illustration at all, but
no, but if it ain't Iron Fist didn't get his own card, which is unfortunate. But at least he got a team up card with Luke Cage. Yeah, it's just not the best illustration.
Yeah. Oh, we got Turner.
It's not Michael Turner for sure. So
Spider-Man, Daredevil, classic.
It's not a.
It's not good. Like look at it.
Oh, I'm sure Deuce is like, look at his balls and his butt. Like, I don't go looking for guys' balls and dicks the minute I see an illustration, Deuce.
Yeah, but
his balls and his back.
I openly just gonna admit this. Like, a good chunk of the illustrations on these cards are not great. There's a lot of good shit in here, but a good chunk of it not good.
Yeah, there are quite a few duds.
Like, I mean, what's Daredevil doing here? He's just like sitting down.
I know he's leaping. I know what he's doing. It's just drawn poorly, and it doesn't
look good.
The pose doesn't work like he's leaping through the paper like that. What the fuck's going on with the Hulk's head?
Yeah.
God.
He's slothing it over here.
Yeah.
I mean,
he looks fine.
Look at
but he's smiling. He looks like he's smiling. And that's Paul Ryan drawing that too, man.
Yeah. Not good.
Maybe, no.
Not good. Red Skull and Baron Zemo. This is pretty good.
I like this. Yeah. That's a great team up card.
Yeah. Good poses.
The modern day Red Skull. And that's the Baron Zemo look that I like. I don't, the Thunderbolt look where it's I don't know. I just like that Baron Zemo look.
Juggernaut, Black Tom.
Yeah, classic team up from X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man. So no, that's a great card. Abomination.
Now we're
That's
getting
fun.
into the super villains.
Yeah, and I like this one.
Zodiac. I know nothing of
Know
Zodiac.
nothing of him either. Definitely one of the more cosmic villains, I'm sure. But it's a Mark. Oh, actually, no, Mark Texeira. He may even be cosmic. He might be kind of a Ghost Rider because I feel like Mark's done Punisher and Ghost Rider, and he may be a Ghost Rider like villain, or maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Let's
Yeah.
let's look them up. I can read a little bit here. Oh, what the fuck? This one, Zodiac. Okay. Norman Harrison, 6 feet, 190 pounds. Where's his biography? The Sorcerer Supreme, who had become the Ancient One, encountered the Dicors, the demon race he ultimately banished to another dimension. Let's see. Doctor Strange is involved.
I know it.
Ghost Rider kind of involved too. So don't know them all.
Yeah.
Here's Apocalypse.
Yep, that one rules.
Sphinx.
Don't know anything about her.
Cool idea. I like
yeah, cool visual. Yeah,
cool visual. A little fun. Destroyer.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, I like it. Red Skull. I love it.
Skull. Yeah, Red Skull, as we mentioned before, in this design.
I love the business outfit, like the jacket and the black pants. I love that look for the Red Skull.
I do too.
Yeah. The classic, green jumpsuit's great, but him in a business suit with his Red Skull, it's just something very imposing about that, and he looks very threatening like that. Puppet Master, yeah. This car was my first introduction to that character. I knew, that this was like the first time I think Matt Hilton had the card of him. And,
it's a cool card.
It is a good card. It gets the point across, and he's a character that's changed a little bit over the years, but this is the more kind of traditional classic look of the character. A very demented looking guy who can create these molds of people and use them to manipulate them to do. He did it with the Hulk in a fight with Namor and the Hulk, and it was when he looked shitty. Like it was like this shitty redesign of the character. I couldn't tell who the fuck is this supposed to be. Like, this is the Puppet Master. I'm like, no, I just like him as this. He's just wearing like a green shirt and an apron.
Yeah.
I like. This was in my first pack of cards too. Venom, this Eric Larson Venom. I'm like, I was like, oh my god, Venom. Didn't know, couldn't tell you anything other than all I knew he was related to Spider-Man. That's all I knew of the character at that time. But that's the way McFarlane drew him and the way Mark Bagley drew him. That's the best Venom has ever looked. At this point is when they really started to get a little crazy with his mouth and the slime coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And I like that, but then after Bagley starts drawing him, he slicks him down more. He looks more condensed and not so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Eric Larson drew him, close to McFarlane, but he got crazy with the mouth, which I like. They really get off the rails well after that. I mean, he just looks fucking ridiculous. But the jagged teeth and the slime coming out and the long ass tongue, that's classic Venom too. I love it. Diablo, which all right, you probably read more. You definitely read more about him than I have.
Probably, honestly, not as much.
Okay.
Because I mean, around this time period too, these characters just show up and then you don't see them for years.
You get down to it. You think a lot of these characters that are associated with these heroes, they must be in,
every other issue.
Yeah,
no, not the case. They'll show
up
up and then you won't see them again for like 15 months.
Yeah. And you think like Dr. Doom was in a shit ton of issues. Like, no, he's in a lot. Don't get me wrong. But there is a ton of other random villains that show up in Fantastic Four. And I mean, Doom's probably the most, but yeah. Yes, we have seen him. Yeah. No, I figured.
Yeah, no, he's one of those characters that just like pops up around this time period of Fantastic Four books. I wouldn't say he's super memorable compared to other villains.
Like I would pick Mole Man over Diablo.
Oh yeah,
I just think Mole Man's one of the more memorable Fantastic Four villains. Oh, the Rose. Yes, this is my brother's pack of cards, and I just didn't know much about him, and just based on the card, and I wouldn't see anything else about him for a while. I think he was on the cover of an issue web of Spider-Man, and come to find out, he is the son of the Kingpin, Richard Fisk, set up in a big gang war with the Kingpin, Hammerhead, and a bunch of others, and he's just doing it to kind of
stick it to his head.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
It's a cool design.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Very, very simple ideas. Like, all right, well, Kingpin's got a son, and he's going to get involved in this, and he's going to kind of maybe go against him.
Yeah, I love it.
Let's get Dr. Doom here.
Masterpiece in front of Ledveria. I love it.
Magneto.
Fucking rocks.
Yeah, that's a good card.
Necron. Know nothing of the character.
I know nothing about this character either.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, sorry. Green Goblin. This is Harry Osborn as Green Goblin. This is I think it's Sal Buscema. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it looks good. I like it.
It's a good looking card.
Yeah, even as a kid, I would have been about that because it's Green Goblin, because he's my favorite Spider-Man villain. Dracula. Yeah. Had no idea at the time. I'm like, holy, Dracula?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would be years later before I realized, like, Tomb of Dracula, and then Dracula's in current books as well. He's fought Spider-Man and various other characters.
Yeah, Tyler and I expressed our disappointment in the Dracula that we're getting in Marvel Legends later this year.
Which is the more current look of Dracula, which is not bad, but
I would have preferred to have had something more like this.
The Tomb of Dracula, the kind of the older man, the mustache and everything. I see him, Werewolf by Night, the Frankenstein monster. And they did do in a I think it's
Toy Biz 4-pack or something.
Well, no, there's that, but it's either called Monsters Unleashed or Legion of Monsters. There were so many random books.
Yeah.
There's one with the Gill Man. And there's a beautiful painted cover of him behind commanding Frankenstein's monster and the Gill Man, their version of the Gill Man.
Yeah.
The story's not great because it's like the Gill Man just shows up, comes out into society, and runs into another Gill Man. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, no.
But it's a great painted cover. Like there is a series of magazines, and some of them are I think the original stories, but it's called Dracula Lives and Vampire Tales. And they have these amazing painted covers of Dracula, covers of him, attacking a woman, or a fleet of dogs are attacking him, or he's getting ready to sneak up on. And there's just awesome paintings.
Yeah, the painted covers were amazing, and that's the whole aspect of it.
Yeah,
they're gonna look that good that you want to just buy the issue, and then read the stories and be disappointed.
Yeah, but the cover alone is worth owning because they're just such beautiful oil paintings. Sauron, Mark Teixeira, fucking rocks, because I love Sauron.
Yeah.
How do you not like a pterodactyl man who, is like a vampire himself, but he doesn't bite you. He just drains you of your energy and becomes stronger. I love him. Cyber is a Wolverine villain. Just a cool visual. I have not read a whole lot about the character. I remember I had a buddy in elementary school who was all about Cyber. And because he was associated with Wolverine, I thought, oh, he's cool. He looks awesome. He's got adamantium arms, But I remember he was in one comic book of mine as a kid, but that's all I really knew of the character. Mephisto. Love him. Yeah. I will say, I think his Marvel Universe trading card from Series 1 is superior to this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that was another card I remember trading Matt Dobbins with that Mephisto card.
God.
Mad Thinker. I have got a mad appreciation for the Awesome Android, dude. I fucking love the Awesome Android. I hope one day we will get a deluxe Marvel Legend of the Awesome Android.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, and
fantastic, even.
It will, and his look has changed over the years too. Where he's such an odd duck character.
Yeah,
but I think that's why I like him, because he's an android that can adapt to whoever he's fighting, but he just looks like this massive lump of clay.
Yeah,
he just I imagine doing something like, man, he looks like he's got Play-Doh for a head. You
I'm
know?
sure he'll say something here in the chat.
Yeah, but I love the Awesome Android. Hobgoblin, this is the second version of Hobgoblin that was possessed by a demon. Jason Macendale was this Hobgoblin who was originally Jack-O-Lantern. The flaming pumpkin head guy.
Yeah, well, I know who you're talking about. Is this do you like? No.
Oh no! Oh yeah, I like it. You know, I prefer traditional Hobgoblin without the demonic possession, but I like this one because this is the one.
Deucin, since when do I have a Mexican accent?
I think we kind of balance saying you speak like the French and a Mexican as well and Russian. So you're like a mishmash of cultures, dude, and that's why you're such a delight.
White Queen.
White Queen, not her best, but I like the character.
Yeah, White Queen's hot.
Yeah, she is.
Omega Red.
Omega Red. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the whole point. You get some Moscow in the back there. Look, little slender in the card art.
Yeah, he's definitely not he's big, but not as big and bulky as he's depicted by Jim Lee.
Yeah,
but it still looks good though.
Yeah, well, Jason says I don't know if he's talking about Omega Red. Look at that chin.
He does have a big chin.
Yeah. Big old Leno chin here.
Maelstrom, I can't remember where I've seen him, but I don't. Again, another character I know jack shit about, and not going to pretend like I could tell you anything about him.
Very skinny.
Yeah, Zarko. Don't know.
Nothing. Carnage, interesting design choice here a little bit. I feel like.
I'm trying to remember if this is. I don't think it's Mark Bagley, even though
it's Austin
and Eric. I'm not sure because Bagley's the one who designed the character, and he even said too, if he'd known how popular the character would be, he would have made this design more simpler, without all the kind of symbiote swirls on his body.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was he had been out for a brief time, and would go on to become one of Spider-Man's most popular villains, and still is to this day. Whether he's and got overused to the point where I was fucking tired of the character.
Yeah.
And I loved him since the moment I saw him. Like I knew nothing of him until Maximum Carnage issue Part 3, and God, I fell in love with him immediately. And then I was like, Jesus Christ, Venom and Carnage, you fucking morons! Everyone's about Venom and Carnage, bunch of idiots. Magus is he was a villain from the Infinity War, but I don't know much other than that. He was a prominent.
I like his look.
Yeah, it's a great look. Yeah, I remember Matt Hilton, I think, pointed him out to me, like the trading card, and just was telling me, like, no, he's this and he's that, and like, because I was like, well, I don't know anything about the guy, and he was really building him up as like, no, he's a serious threat.
It's a good looking card.
It is. I agree. Silvermane's a Spider-Man villain. He's an old man with a bionic suit, essentially.
Yeah.
Not a bad card. But I never really gave two shits about Silvermane, honestly. When he shows up, it's like, hey, it's Silvermane. That's cool. But
it's the reason he got lumped into that 5-pack.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for the Human Fly, I wouldn't have bought that 5-pack.
I waited for the price to drop on that.
Yeah. I mean, I had to have the Human Fly. Cardiac, I think that was another card that my brother got. He was a Spider-Man villain.
I know nothing about.
Yeah, he's one of those villains. I've read a few stories with him in it, but I wasn't drawn to him. And he's a black supervillain.
No, that's cool.
So, but I other than that, and he comes along like right before, I think the Maximum Carnage art. Like he was introduced before all, or I think it was around the time somewhere around when Carnage first shows up.
Deucin saying he died.
I know what he's saying there. Mr. Funny Man. Gideon's an X-Force villain. He's kind of a manipulator. I think he took over the father of Sunspot's company and killed him and kind of uses Sunspot to kind of manipulate him into. I gotta go back and read more, but I just know he's. I think he. I can't remember if he's the one that hires Deadpool, because this is like early X-Force. Like he is like starts off as like one of the early villains, along with like Strife, who's a clone of Cable. I can't tell you a whole lot, but I remember I came this close to getting the Gideon, or pretty close to getting his action figure from Toy Biz back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember, thinking he looked cool, and Matt said he was this and that, and I actually had the Deadpool toy this figure in the cart, and changed my mind and got something else.
Do you remember what you
Back, I have no idea. I can't remember who else I was, but I just thought Deadpool looked cool, and this was back before everyone was like, I'm a Deadpool fan too. You shop at Hot Topic? Then, oh yeah, dude. Do you read the comics? No. What's a comic?
got Thanos?
Thanos looks great with energy crackling from his. Oh, this was the car that Matt Hilton fucked me over on with Sabretooth. And I remember I was told he had it, and this is before we became buddies. It's strictly this point we were just business partners. We traded cards. And that's
strictly business partners.
Yeah, we just traded cards. We would meet outside in the lineup for walkers and car rides. When you're waiting for your parent or guardian to pick you up, there was a line. So you just waited in the line, and we would just sit there on the ground, and we're like, okay, trying to make the deal. And the teacher's up front, you kids need to hurry up, shit like that. Fuck you. But early in the day, he told me he had it, and I made a deal with him, and we traded cards. I can't remember what I gave him, but he came up to me at the end of the day. The bell had rang. He's getting ready to walk outside to go in the car, and he goes, "Yeah, I want my Sabretooth card back." And his mom was with him, so it was like he had muscle.
Yeah.
So you can't argue with this kid, but you traded it to me. He's like, no, I want it back. So I begrudgingly got in my backpack, and of course it was in good shape to whatever card or the Sabretooth card was, and he gave me back whatever card I gave him, and I just remember he's like, what the fuck, man? It's just like this business arrangement sucks. So this card is on display in my little hall here because it's Sabretooth. He's one of my top 5 favorite villains, but it's a card I remember being so proud of that I got it, and then lost it,
within a span of 20 minutes.
Yep. Kingpin. Yeah, I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah, it's simple with the Newark skyline behind him, and he's humongous, and I love it. He's illustrated this so. Blackheart. I like that. That's a cool Blackheart. It's definitely better than Wes Bentley playing the character. Piece of shit movie. Terrax, yeah. Herald of Galactus.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, it's great design.
Yeah. I like when villains hold their hands out in that threatening manner, like they're going to, it's a victorious pose when they hold their palm out.
I don't have him posed like that on the shelf. He's got his axe. I got him holding that, and then he's just got his fist held up.
Okay.
That's hanging down. Because they didn't give him the
multiple hands.
Yeah, they get with all those that came with Galactus, not so much in the variety of hands and shit. Which whatever.
I did have his Toy Biz figure from the Fantastic Four toy line, and he came on this meteorite that had wheels.
Yeah,
and he could ride along like he's riding a meteor, like he would be through space. It was a cool figure. Sinister, fucking love him.
How you feeling about the card art?
It's all right. Yeah. I've seen her look more sinister.
Here's Slug.
Yeah, I'm like, who the hell is this fat fuck? And I think he's in Captain America comics, if I remember correctly.
What does he do?
I don't know. I think he's just a fat mob boss.
He's just a fat fuck.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool.
You feel like, but Kingpin's muscle. He's big.
Fat.
Everyone calls him fat.
What the fuck does this guy do?
Yeah, he's a slug.
Hate monger.
Which is a. Well, I was gonna say I thought that was that's Warmonger. Hate monger. I have no idea who this is.
Maybe Ghost Rider.
Could be. I'd say he's probably more of a Ghost Rider type character.
I want to say part of me wants to say he's in the first little bit of that Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch Ghost Rider run.
I don't remember him showing up. I remember you got Death Watch and Blackout.
Maybe not. I'm probably getting all confused.
Crossbones. I love this character. That is the look of Crossbones, not that fucking armored outfit that's in Civil War. I love Crossbones.
Yeah, that's good design on Crossbones.
Yeah, classic.
Marvel Legend Rocks. Shiva.
Yeah. Shiva, robot that guards the facility that of the Weapon X program that Wolverine does battle with.
Grim was saying Fantastic Four with Hate Monger. I don't know. Blackout.
That's not his best illustration, though.
Nope, not at all.
He looks a lot more ferocious in the Ghost Rider comics.
He does.
And I know he's been updated over the years, and I'm like, eh. But Pantheon,
The rookies.
know nothing of this rookie group.
Nope.
Most of the rookies in this set, like Slapstick,
What the fuck is this?
I don't know. I saw him somewhere randomly over the years. I'm like, so there's that guy from that card. I'm like, who the fuck is Slapstick?
I mean, I get this.
Yeah, they think he sucks too.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah. Nope.
Darkhold Redeemers. Yeah, I don't know anything about them either.
When I was saving these, I was like, man, most of these rookies suck ass.
Yeah. Dude. Strong Guy is X Factor. And
yep.
I'm not a big fan of him either.
Build a bullshit figure.
Yeah.
If you want to give him a legend. Bishop.
I like Bishop. Great visual.
Like Bishop. Yeah, Bishop.
Yeah.
Bishop's great.
And Silhouette. No,
yep,
nothing of her.
This is New Warriors.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying, God,
I
because
never
it's been
saw
so
her
long.
in any visuals of the New Warrior group shots. I never saw her in any of them.
Trying to remember more about her, honestly. I feel like a dipshit for not being able to say more, but yeah, she's in New Warriors.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You knew that.
Yeah, I would have to. I really need to go back and because I want fuck. Part of me wants to say, God, I'm just gonna feel like a moron if I like say this and it's not right. Part of me wants to say that she gets shot, and this is how like
what she's on. Crushes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll have to go back.
Talon, no, nothing of him.
Yeah, for the most part, these rookies suck.
Yeah, Collector, which is the cosmic being, it was Benicio del Toro played him in fucking Guardians of the Galaxy or some shit.
I'm gonna kind of look up the character here. The Silhouette, so I can tell you more. Here's Galactus.
Oh, we know all about him.
So, New Warriors number 2. Silhouette and her brother, Midnight's Fire, are mutants with magical powers gained from the bloodline of their mother, a member of the Temple Cult. She manipulates the Dark Force, having the power to teleport, hide in shadows, and more. She's paraplegic, having been paralyzed from the waist down by a bullet injury she sustained tracking drug gangs early in her career. So, hell yeah.
You knew it.
I knew it. Wow. Living Tribunal. So, we're in the cosmic beings, if you can tell from the top here.
Yeah, I don't really know. Ego, Living Planet.
This is great.
Yeah, that's a beautiful illustration of him.
Yep. Yeah, it's a shame they did the whole thing. Kurt Russell.
When I heard Kurt Russell's Ego, how the fuck does that work?
Yeah.
Eternity. I've only seen him pop up maybe once somewhere.
Yeah.
And only because of this card as a kid, I'm like, oh, there's that guy from the trading card.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a good teaching tool in that regard.
Celestials, don't know anything about them.
Death.
Death is Thanos' main squeeze. And that's all I really know.
Really hot.
Yeah.
In-betweener.
Don't know.
Nope.
Another shitty rookie. Don't know who that is.
Oh, yeah. So this would have been one of the ones that's out of place.
Yeah.
Watcher.
Yeah. It is what it is. It's the Watcher.
The balance of universe.
The what if guy.
Yeah. Stranger.
Nothing. Epoch. I was gonna say Epcot.
Epcot.
Disney owns this guy.
This is cool.
Yeah, it kind of looks like never mind.
Here.
Yeah. Here's the origin cards.
Yep, origin cards. So we get Hulk.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
That one's not bad.
Spider-Man.
This was in my first pack of cards, was that, which I thought like, oh, I got Spider-Man, and not realize, and then it took me a few minutes. Oh, it's an origin card, not the actual Spider-Man card.
Dumbass. Silver Surfer.
I like that one. That one's cool.
Wolverine.
Weapon X. Yeah.
Iron Man.
That's fun.
Yeah. Not bad.
No.
Ghost Rider, hell yeah.
This and that one fucking
cool.
rocks.
Yeah, I like that. Daredevil.
Oh, I like that one too.
I love the
yellow and black. Yeah, yellow, black, and red's cool.
Got Thor.
Yeah, Thor.
Cap.
Yeah, I like
that's
that
fun.
one too.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, even then, still ripped. He's skinny, but he's still ripped.
And he turned into me.
Fantastic Four, which
I like. I feel like only true comic book fans. If like I would not have gotten this, like, because
if you took this away and you just simply looked at that would be a hard guess.
Yeah, but the comic book fans got that, and it does make me wonder, like older comic book readers this time, like when trading cards were really becoming a hot commodity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if they, they would appreciate this, but would they have collected cards?
Right. Maybe, because this does play into, obviously, baseball cards.
Yeah.
Were very popular at the same time period that these comics were coming out.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, here's the team cards with the Avengers, which is I think it's just the. I think there's a West Coast Avengers card too, if I remember correctly. I think, or maybe it's just Avengers. There's X Force with the core group.
Zoom in on those a little bit. X
Factor. Excuse me. Yeah, we just did X Force.
I mean, it's kind of the same. Yeah.
Yeah. There's New Warriors with Rage in the back.
Yeah. Rage is great.
He was like the new guy. We're going to get him over in Avengers. That didn't work. We'll put him over in New Warriors. And then he, it's a good group shot there.
Yep.
Alpha Flight with the twins and which I'm thinking like I wonder if that's not Vindicator or Guardian.
Yeah. No. Puck's not here either.
Puck's not there. Yeah, I have no idea who. Yeah, it's. All right, here's West Coast Avengers. Yeah.
Which a cool group shot. You can get this team now in Marvel Legends.
Mm-hmm. Night Stalkers, yep. Blade and Hannibal King, which was the Ryan Reynolds character in Blade, I believe.
Blade Trinity, huh?
Yeah.
And that piece of shit.
Yeah.
I know you don't like Patton Oswalt, but he told the story about how much of a terrible experience that was, that Wesley Snipes would only answer to Blade, and he would write on Post-it notes of things that he wanted to say, and he would sign it Blade, and I'm just like, holy shit.
I can believe that. As much as I love Wesley Snipes, I don't dispute any of that. Okay, there's that one guy. He was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy there.
Yeah. And is that
it's Major Victory, Starhawk, that flat top guy. And the Guardians of the Galaxy comic had been around for a while too. I remember as a kid, like I thought this was just their first book, and like no, they'd been around for a while, and it's just changed members. This is the gold X-Men team. There's gold and blue team, and the blue team had Wolverine on it, so I was like, whatever Wolverine's on, that's my team.
Yeah, so. I mean, this is not a bad team at all.
No, it's an awesome team. I mean, you get Colossus, fucking Archangel,
Iceman.
It's a solid team. We'll get X-Men Blue in a bit, but
here's Excalibur. There's
Excalibur. Yep, Lockheed, the dragon there with her, and with the Shadow Cat.
Yeah. Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Not the best art, but
no, I think it looks a little fat.
Here we go.
Here's
X-Men man, Blue. Yeah,
this is the team. This is it.
Yeah,
hard to beat this team, dude.
No,
yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, the art's not the best, but the team is the best. Yeah.
Serpent Society's fucking great.
Yeah, that's a good one there too. Which is I was gonna say I was looking initially at Diamondbacks on it, who became one of Cap's girlfriends in the '90s. But she was in that group, and it's a fun little. I mean, everyone there has a snake theme to it. They're mercenaries for hire, and events. The extension. This card came in my pack, which I trying to make sense of what this card was about. Cameron Hodge is the villain in there that Wolverine's given a vengeful hug to.
Yeah,
which is I've never read the extension agenda storyline.
Evolutionary War.
Haven't read that one either. There's a bunch of them I haven't read because I bounce all over the place.
Operation Galactic Storm.
Yeah, I sampled a little bit of that, but I was like, this is getting too outer spacey for me. So I need more grounded stuff. Secret Wars, yes, wonderful storyline.
Yeah,
and that's a great little illustration.
Great selection of characters too.
Yeah, absolutely. Inferno, that's an X-Men storyline which I've not read much on. That's Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen. There, standing. She's the clone of Jean Grey, if I remember correctly.
Yep, great outfit.
Damn right. And Red would be all about drawing her.
Infinity Gauntlet.
I tried reading that and got bored, and I just have never finished it. It's one of the biggest crossovers too, and and it's got good artwork in it. I just need to power through a lot of the outer space shit. Kree versus Skrull. Yeah, never read that one either. Atlantis Attacks. Not much on that one.
It's kind of surprising. That kind of sounds like that'd be right up your alley.
And it's something I do need to read, though. That is one I do need to read because it's definitely Namor related for sure.
Milestones.
And I remember seeing remnants of the aftermath of this one.
Yeah, I didn't get to this.
Yeah, this is in the 90s. This is like
I got to jump back into Fantastic Four. I think
this
at the
one,
time it's like the late 70s or early.
Okay, 80s. I mean, it's a.
I got a ways to go.
This was one of the cards I got in my first pack. Also, was the Days of Future Past. Great 2-port storyline.
Yeah, and the movie's actually good.
Movies, yeah, definitely the last good X-Men movie they've made.
All
Hulks Unite. Yeah, you got original Hulk, Gray Hulk, and Smart Hulk, or Mr. Fix-It. And Phoenix Saga. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Even though the comic book storyline is good, though, I will say that on Dark Phoenix. This was an awesome storyline too. That's a great little illustration. I think Gwen Stacy, I speaks for itself. There's nothing I can say that hasn't already been said before about that storyline.
Yep. Wedding of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Here's to make sure that you got them all, but there's actually a card that's out of sync here, The Fall of Kingpin.
Yeah. I remember when I heard about that. I never read it as a kid, but I was always under the impression that's when Kingpin died. Or was led to believe that he died. Like, oh my God, like Daredevil knocked him out of a building. He fell. And the holograms, which was big business back then. You got to get them holograms, dude. They were hard to come by.
And they're expensive now.
They are.
Yes, we have Hulk here, and then we have Thing. Which
I say he's stomping.
I got another Thing card. I can't remember. It's actually, I think, more pattern after the animated series.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what.
Yeah, Wolverine.
I don't know, an antique shop. Wolverine, Venom.
Yeah, I like that.
Ghost Rider. And that's it. That is all 206 cards.
God, man.
Hey, we blew through it pretty quick.
We did. I mean, thankfully, there were several characters we didn't know anything about. So,
well, goes without.
We're being authentic fans here. We're not going to sit there and just blow smoke up your ass. I don't know who they are.
Well, Dewson said here, who knew a Master Universe fan would be so allergic to outer space stuff?
Well, it's different when it's He-Man. Because He-Man's my favorite mythology. It's different with He-Man. But, like, my superheroes, like, I like my Spider-Man. I like my Wolverine. I like my Captain America. Thor is about as cosmic as it gets. Him and Silver Surfer, but not everything. I still like to see stuff on land. I just don't care for a lot of going into outer space and having galactic cosmic battles. I just don't care for it that much. Yeah. With He-Man, it's different.
Well, before we wrap this up, if you got questions for us, go ahead and put those in the chat. I'm going to pull a Tyler. I got to go.
All right. Well, give me something to answer so I can talk, because I got to go to the bathroom too. So
what is it?
I need
Let's
something
go
to
to the bathroom together. Let's just have dead air.
No, I can't do that to what listeners we got here. So someone give me a question I can wax lyrically about. To quote
while I go pee and make another drink. And then we'll take some questions, and then there's going to be a thing that I'm going to go ahead and I was going to wait until Sunday, but I'll just go ahead and address it and nip that in the bud and just put that out there for everybody, because I don't want to talk about it anymore after this.
Come on, people, give me something to talk about here.
Well, I'm trying to think of a question to ask you. Oh man, but I got nothing. So you haven't jumped back in any more bad movies at all? I think I texted you.
Mainly just because like I sat down and I didn't sit down and watch. I played it while I was doing meal prep. Was Vampires. I put it on last night. I was in the mood to watch Vampires, but I'm like I wanted to watch Big Trouble in Little China as well.
Yeah,
kind of have a nice John Carpenter. But I'm going to watch Rad tomorrow, and I'm definitely going to watch, Hell Roller and probably one of the others that I mentioned as well. Just where my work schedule has been different lately. I'm just like I don't have a whole lot of time to like come home, and I just been reading and not doing a whole lot.
It's been tough. Like I'll get home and I'm like, I'll just put on like some YouTube videos or something. I don't feel that I want to fully invest myself in a 90-minute, 2-hour movie.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of Red Letter Media videos for fun.
Oh hell yeah! I'm glad that you swung back around into watching more of their stuff because I know for a while you weren't really kind of checking.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I guess the ones I happen to jump on, I'm like, I don't really mesh with their thoughts and stuff because sometimes I feel like they're not as well versed as I'm hoping they will be, and then other stuff are like, God, they know this stuff like inside and out, like, and then other times I'm like, it takes me out of it if they're not as knowledgeable about it, which is why I always want to.
Yeah. You're gonna have to bullshit about something because I mean, Deuce asked this: how can Kingpin have sex?
All right, I'll talk about that.
Okay.
I imagine Deuce it would be like a Andre the Giant mauling a midget or a small person. Excuse me. I can't imagine it. I'm sure it is what it is. It's just a giant man. The woman definitely would have to be on top the most of the time. There would be no him laying on top of her action because he'd crush her to death. Vanessa, Typhoid Mary, any woman he'd ever be linked to, I can't imagine that being. It would be very limited, but not something I think too much about. But not surprising that you would ask something like that, Deucen. But it'd be quite limited, I'm sure. But I'm sure the women would be more than willing. If they're in the presence of the Kingpin, he's not going to take no for an answer. So I'm sure whatever women are betting with him, which he has a son, as we said before, Richard Fisk. So they made it work somehow. Kind of imagine it, like whenever he shoots a low poly ball, like a shotgun to her back, much like how Brody talks about Superman and Lois having sex. I really don't know too much what else to say about that. Let's see, what else could I bring up here? As we're just kind of saying, I apologize for not having a whole lot to say right here because I expected you guys to have some questions for us for me to answer while Nathan's gone. I guess I will say like this series of cards was my introduction to getting into superheroes altogether. Like I was aware of Spider-Man, I was aware of the X-Men, but didn't know anything about them essentially. And going to Walmart back when Walmart was before the Supercenter, up by the checkout was a box of Marvel Universe trading cards, and it was just something that I saw. It was like an impulse thing, like, oh my God, there's trading cards with superheroes on them, and my mom bought me and my brother each a pack, and opening them up in the back in the car, and I never looked back. It was just seeing all these awesome characters for the first time. It just made me want to learn more. When the X-Men animated series is coming out, Marvel Masterpieces shows up, like comic card shows were at our local mall on a regular basis, and they're selling comic books. They're selling Marvel superhero trading cards, like going through the boxes looking for individual cards or selling packs of cards. And it was unbelievable how addicting and what a junkie I was for Marvel superheroes at that time. And it was a good time to be a new comic book fan with the Spider-Man animated series comes out not too long after as well. Comic books are at your grocery stores, your convenience stores, comic book shops. They're not all over the place in the area, but they weren't hard to find. Mm-hmm. But you could buy posters for comic book characters like at your department stores and comic book stores. It was so much fun. You were so hungry for like reprints was a big deal. Like thinking like, oh my god, the first appearance of Electro or Mysterio, it's a reprint, but it's
a
being able to.
reprint, sure, but
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like I remember getting a reprint of X-Men #1. It was a milestone edition comic book with the silver border, a reprint of everything from the ads in the book and everything. And I remember I treasured that reprint of X-Men #1. It was a big deal to own that, in my opinion. Okay, I've talked long enough. I'm gonna go take care of it.
Yeah, that's fair. You go ahead and do that. I was gonna show this off. Here's this poster that comes with one of the issues of Ghost Rider: Spirits of Vengeance. Part of me thinks that I have that because I think there was a chance you could get one of 3 different posters that came in like the plastic baggie sealed with the comic. I want to say I have the comic that has one of these posters downstairs, and I kind of hope that it's this one because I'm a sucker for Danny Ketch, Ghost Rider, and Blaze. I love that concept. I love the designs, like 90s as fuck. Do that in animated form. Hear Tyler grunting in the background, really trying to get that turd out. So I guess I must have missed that where Tyler said I imagine it'd be like Andre the Giant mauling a midget. So very interesting choice of words that we had there. When Tyler gets back, because I want to wait for him to address something that is I'll give the story behind it. And like I said, I was going to save it for Sunday, but this Sunday on Fans of Power, we're going to have the Filmation D-list character Kumite. So that's going to be a lot of fun because it's some deep cut characters, some characters that a good chunk of you may know and may not know either. So it'll be educational, to say the least. There's Tyler. He's back. Deuce saying here, we should do a watch along a Fantastic Four episode with Ego Living Planet at some point. Yeah,
I'm definitely game for that, bud. Absolutely.
Well, John Ballard has a question, a very baseline for you, Tyler. What are your favorite superheroes?
Spider-Man and Batman are the top of the heap. Wolverine, Captain America, Thor. I do like Superman. I mean, I can keep going. Colossus, Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler are my top 3 X-Men. And my honorable mentions would be Archangel, Rogue, Psylocke, and Iceman. I mean, I have a lot. I really do. But Spider-Man and Batman have been at the top since I knew what a superhero was. Mm-hmm. The 60s Spider-Man series was on VHS with like 4 or 5 episodes. I used to rent that. Yeah. That's how I discovered Kingpin for the first time, was in the episode King Pinned. And that was one of the few villains I remember seeing on that tape. And that was my first impression of Spider-Man. And Batman
is like Batman 89.
And the 60s series. Yeah, they were hand in hand because they brought that back in reruns when the movie came out. So
yeah. So it very much like I dare say the 3 superheroes that Tyler and I probably saw the most of as kids: Batman, Spider-Man, Superman.
Yeah, because I was all about Superman 4. I fucking loved it, and that was the first Superman movie I saw, and the only one I would want to watch.
Same. No, I mean, not the only one I would want to watch, but I'm pretty sure Superman 4 was the first Superman movie that I saw.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just picked it out. I think probably because the box art like appealed to me the most. And when I
think it because it played on TV all the time.
I never saw it on TV, not once.
Really?
No, I saw Superman 3 on TV, but I never saw Superman 4 air on TV. I always had to rent it, and I loved renting it and looking at the box art. In the back was just a picture of Superman, like in front of like the fire that Nuclear Man had started. Like, oh, it felt like the longest movie because I couldn't wait for Nuclear Man to show up and him and Superman start fighting.
I mean, Superman 4 is only 90 minutes long. That could potentially maybe a Friday night.
I would love.
It's on Max. You and I could do a watch
I
watch
would
party.
so love to watch Superman 4 with you, dude. Oh
All
my
right.
God, yeah.
All right, we'll pick a Friday and do that then.
Yeah.
Another question from John Ballard. You've talked about this before, but we can go back in the past to this. How did you get into bodybuilding? Here's my answer. So Tyler's always looked up to your Arnold, He-Man. Like he's always been he thinks superheroes, very impressionable by their bodies and like how big they are. Professional wrestling, having Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, etc., etc. I think it came just a point in time where Tyler decided to make that lifestyle change to start caring more about his body and working out more for the reason of wanting to look like his childhood heroes, and 2, to get chicks.
Those were the reasons, but that was not the main reason I started. Like I always wanted to. I never could get up the courage to do it. And a girl I was interested in told me I had a beer belly over the phone. And it was like, in my mind, I'm thinking like, well, maybe I view myself poorly. Maybe I think I'm not in great shape, or maybe others won't view me that way.
Yeah.
And it was like a torpedo, like just sunk the battleship when I'm like, oh my God, like. And the next day was the first day of teaching myself how to lift weights. My younger brother had dabbled in it, and he kind of gave me some of the basics, and then I went off on my own, and everything I've done ever since then was learning on my own through magazines and trial and error and applying this to that.
And to put this in sort of a time period, this would have been about 2003 or 4 or 5 somewhere.
I think I started lifting weights in 2005.
Yeah. Somewhere around there. And you could see the different. I don't have them on this on my computer, but at one point, like there are pictures of Tyler and I hanging out, and this is like before he started working out, and you could see that I didn't think he was like fat, but
no, and I look back too. I thought I looked fat my senior year, but I look back at pictures like, no, I was thin, but I just.
But he really like slimmed down and like got really muscular, and then when he first started doing it, and then he started like bulking.
Yeah, like packing on size because I wasn't eating right. Like I was eating heavy carb stuff, just thinking like, oh, I'm so hungry. Like it's because I didn't know how to diet right, but I could lift really heavy, But that wasn't my goal. Like I thought I was building size, but I'm like I'm still looking thick, and you figure things out, but it
And you got to think this is pre-YouTube, and really like the internet age that we live in now.
Yeah,
Dewson had Tyler's been by an Austrian exchange student one fateful day.
Well, I would have preferred it with like a hot female Australian exchange student, but I would have multiple girls over the years as I was trying to work out still tell me I didn't look that great. I had to work on stuff. I'm like, motherfucker, like I just could not, as hard as it was to hear that, I was not going to let it destroy me.
It motivates you.
Yeah, I just took the biggest negative and made the biggest positive. Like, okay, I got to do better. I got to do better. Why am I not in? It used to bug me because I didn't realize, like when in action movies, why the guys look so amazing on camera. And thinking like, well, I look like that when I'm lifting weights, but I don't look like that when I'm just walking around going
the pump.
Yeah, they're not knowing. It drove me nuts until I figured out that no, they lift weights right before they roll the camera, so that way their arms are nice and bulked up, or whatever it is that's going to be exposed. They lift weights to make their chest, their arms pop, and then roll camera. But not knowing that drove me fucking crazy. Just little details like that you just don't know when you want to feel good about yourself, and you don't want women to think that you're unattractive. And I mean, people look at you differently. I mean, the total strangers will say stuff to you. And
I've never had that problem.
Well, yeah, Nathan's never had heart issues or anything like that. But it's
but also too, I think it was a thing of like caring and not caring. Like I never, I don't know.
And that was my problem. I think I didn't want to feel, that you were not attractive or something like that, but it's weightlifting, it goes a long way, and people who are really into it, they'll say and take it seriously, but not obsessively. Will say the same thing. You feel great all the time. You're upbeat. You're energetic. Your confidence gets boosted. Just because you lift weights doesn't mean you're an egomaniacal asshole. There are people who take it to that route, but there are people like that who don't even touch a weight. They're still an asshole and cocky and arrogant as fuck.
That's true.
But it just makes you feel good, and it's nice to go into a gym for 2 hours and feel like He-Man, Yeah. And then you're just it's fun.
I've never I don't know. I've never particularly enjoyed working out. It feels like a chore. The time, like, I'm not saying I would have to force myself to do it, but it's very much like, yes, all right, you have to dedicate that time.
You do.
It takes a lot of just like, yes, I'm going to go there every day. I'm going to do like that. That's hard.
It is, but once you get to it, it's like how no matter what, you got to get up and have your cup of coffee, or you got to get up, take your shower, or you got to get up and take your shit, or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
It becomes, but for me, like how a lot of people like to go home and play video games. That's your downtime. Me, I go to the gym.
Yeah.
That is how I cut loose. I have fun. My new challenge for today, whatever body part it is, and I'll have my mindset for the day, music picked out or whatever. And
I mean, I should probably just start. I mean, I have the unfinished side of the basement. I could easily just get free
that, or you have that free gym at your job. You can go in there. Use it.
I mean, yeah, that is, but that's also I wouldn't like the idea of just associating that with still being in the same building.
I get that.
Here's a comment from Febmon. Idea for future Spinner Rack: Marvel DC superheroes as they appeared in Kid Stuff book and record tape sets, as well as Kid Vid VHS.
I'm sure they exist. I've never come across those. I think I've heard of some of the DC stuff, but I've never seen any of them.
Another Spinner Rack option: the 4 superpower book tape sets by Fisher Price, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Robin in the Justice League of America.
Those sound cool.
Yeah. We talked about that before, of that one Justice League book.
I'm not sure.
I think Fedmon or someone pointed me to it. It was the book I used to read a lot as a kid and replicate it with my action figures, where it's he'll probably pop in and he'll probably remember exactly what I'm talking about. Fuck. But it was like Robin, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Batman. Let me know, Fedmon, you remember that. While he brings that up, before we really wrap it up, I want to bring up this one thing. I was going to do it at the beginning of this. I decided I wanted to hold off till the end because I didn't want to come out of the gate with this, and I also didn't want to do it Sunday on Fans of Power because we're doing the Kumite. I don't want to take away from that. Kumites are always fun, and I just don't. With the amount of people that we have on the show, like I just want to get this out here. So. The story behind this is kind of like a wrong place, wrong time of reading feedback that we get sometimes. And I'm not one to ever like look at a bad comment and just automatically wanting to delete it. The reason that the comment doesn't exist anymore is because my reply that I gave to this, YouTube didn't like. So I went ahead and just got rid of everything. But it also didn't help because I had already been drinking at the time. And between that and just things that are going on in the world, like just everything felt like shit and just weighing heavy on me. So when I saw this comment, it just like I was so mad I just wanted to like barrel through a wall. But I'm going to put it on the screen. We'll give them their little 5 minutes of fame here. And Tyler had told me that this particular individual It's kind of from far back in the history of
Yeah.
Fans of Power in terms of
He
leaving.
he's left comments. I could not tell you any that stuck at my mind. I just remember he was someone that used to post way back when in the early days. I'm trying to remember where the hell it was at. I don't know if it was on like when me and Joe
I'm
started
trying to.
doing YouTube, or if it was on the old Facebook page.
Maybe.
I don't remember, but he's a name. I do remember the name.
So you recognize the name. Well,
Yeah.
here, I'll just put it on the screen. I'm going to read it, and then we will tear this apart. Let's Kid Stuff DC Superpowers Battle at the Earth's Core. Thank you.
Cool.
And we'll have to remember that. All right. So here it is. This comes from Paul Rudman of 5855. And I think this comment was on our Flash episode that we did this past Sunday. But Paul Rudman says, "What the fuck happened to Fans of Power? That podcast jumped the shark. Used to be good when it was Joe, Dirt, Tyler, and Ozone." Okay, maybe not so much Ozone. I'll give him a little credit there. You know, back when it was the only weekly podcast dedicated to Masters of the Universe. Hence the name Fans of Power. A decent half hour to 45 minutes a week of Master Universe topics. Now it drags on for about 3 hours like a bad episode of a Vince McMahon era Monday Night Raw, and seems like Master Universe isn't even a topic a lot of weeks. So I'm going to keep this on the screen. Let's just break this down as we go. First off, kudos to you for thinking Ozone also sucked. If you were giving him credit, then that immediately you're just like, all right, whatever. The only weekly podcast dedicated to Master Universe. Yeah, I guess at the time it was. And now there are more, because I think due to Rose Google and Fans of Power, other people have taken that and it's like, oh, we'll go ahead and we'll do our own thing too. So yes, there are more Master Universe podcasts, which if you're so upset that this drags on now, go watch one of the other fucking shows. Number one. Number two, half hour to 45 minutes. As far as I can recall, I don't think the show's ever been that fucking long. Like ever.
Yeah.
Maybe in the early days, maybe.
Back when, Ozone had the attention span of a circus monkey.
Yeah, maybe then, but fuck, like it hasn't been that way for a long time. And I want to say this, like, yeah, all right, 3 hours. Right now we're running about 2.5. So the whole thing, I'm going to just take this off the screen for a second. The whole thing with this show now is we want to have fun. Actually, I'm going to put it back up. Let's read the rest. I'm guessing the blonde, it's nice you can't even refer to her by her name. I'm guessing the blonde was added in hopes of the channel getting monetized because nothing gets views like blondes on YouTube. So let me bring that back. No. I was actually, if I wanted to, I was able to monetize the channel before she was even a regular member, because once you hit X amount of subscribers, you can do that. I haven't monetized the channel. I could if I wanted to, but I choose not to. But it would also be pointless anyway, because Joe or someone else is going to say fuck in the first 3 minutes and it automatically demonetizes you. So it's pointless. But also, I don't want to make money off of this. Like, this is fun. This is why Tyler and I are here right now on a Friday night, because we want to hang out. We want to have fun, and we hope that other people that watch and listen enjoy it and have as much fun as we're having. It's a way for me to blow off steam. I can't speak for everyone else that's on the show, but it's something for me on a weekly basis that I can look forward to. Because most of the week when I'm at my job, I'm just like, I fucking hate this shit. I fucking hate Connecticut, whatever. Like this is a good way for me to decompress, because I like being on camera. I like talking. I've always enjoyed it. As a kid, I always liked, for whatever reason, like performing in front of family and trying to like be funny or whatever. And Tyler can tell you, when we were friends in high school, I was always being theatrical and whatever to make people laugh. I like being on camera. I like talking. I like clicking on the buttons. I like being able to do this, which, by the way, we get no money from, period. Channel's not monetized. People have suggested, do super chats. Maybe we should. That way the people that want to can. It's not like we're doing anything for any other personal gain. It's just, if you want to, go ahead. Maybe we should do that. But the whole thing here, no, Rebecca was not added to the show for any like, oh, well, I hope we can make money off of this, or oh, we'll get more subscribers from this. No, like her and Joe were friends. They talked to each other. She came on the show. We started talking. She's going through bringing up Red Sonja, all this stuff. Tyler's like, oh, fuck yeah. And we're just like, we started thinking it shouldn't just be the three of us. Right. And the same thing happened with Ren. And then we're like, let's drag Deucin out of here and get him out of his comfort zone. And
yeah,
that's none of this is for any sort of personal, like, you fucking kidding me? You think I'm doing this for the money? Dude, I'm putting money into this. Like doing like what you see on the screen is StreamYard. I pay for that. A yearly subscription. I'm like, whatever. It makes it easier for everyone. Help boosted the production value of the show. It's simpler and easier to use. I don't have to worry as much about lag and all that shit. Yeah. So there's no personal gain at all in this. The other clowns, so I guess myself, Ren, and Deucin are the ones that are the other clowns, are like when either Shemp was added to the Three Stooges or Cousin Oliver to the Brady Bunch. Makes me wish Val Staples would bring back the org and roast Google. So I don't know what to exactly say to that, but fuck, man, we've been here every week for years.
Mm-hmm.
Adding people, doing different shows, the whole thing. Let me put this back up here. Master Universe isn't even a topic a lot of weeks. I don't know if you realize lately, but it's finite amount of shit. There's only so many mini comics. There's only so many episodes of Filmation. Like if you want us to cover all the new shit that most of the people on this show don't like, go watch one of the other shows. They talk about that shit. They'll give you their opinion on it. We don't need to waste our time with that anymore because by now, most people already know what we think. We don't particularly enjoy it. So why waste the time and everyone else's time talking about shit that we don't like? Let's talk about shit that we do like. The other shows facilitate that. That's why Tyler and I come on here Friday nights to talk comics. That's why we talk about other movies and shit. Because if we just kept going with Master Universe topics, the show would probably be done by now. And we would have just moved on to just this, I guess. On a different channel. I don't fucking know. But I don't know why that comment made me so hot. I think it just pissed me off because it takes away from everything you and Joe have done prior to me even getting here. And then just totally disregarding everything that's ever happened since then. Like this guy just puts on a random episode. It's like, oh, what the fuck happened here? Like, just don't watch.
Well, it shows that he has not watched in a very long time.
I mean, obviously.
You know, I was so dismissive of it. I mean, I just felt it was just horse shit. Trying to go after you guys. I found it so forgettable.
I mean,
I hate that it bothered you so much, and I know the rest of the group saw it. I don't think it bothered Ren that much. I don't know what Rebecca had to say, but
I don't think it bothered anybody as much.
Not so much, but
and even.
I know,
sorry.
Oh no, I'm just saying. Like I know it bothers you that much, and I hate that. I hate that it bothers you because you can't help how you feel about things like this. And I know, like, look, we said it before. We are a very minute podcast. I think most people who do podcasts would laugh at us, at our views, our subscribers. We are, you know, we're not trying to be like anyone else. We're just doing our own thing. But we're not big time. There's no way that's ever going to happen. Mm-hmm. Our focus is He-Man and She-Ra. He-Man and She-Ra's dead right now. Okay. the origins and Masterverse figures are not keeping He-Man in the public eye right now. The property is dead right now. The movie, if it ever were to happen, will come and go like a fart in the wind, and it'll be back to being dead again. This is strictly out of passion for these characters. And look, facing reality, as Nathan already said, there's only so much we can talk about. And Nathan likes all this stuff. I like all this stuff. Joe likes all this stuff sometimes. You know, Doosan likes all this stuff. Rebecca likes all this stuff. Ren likes all this stuff. James E. likes all this stuff. Tom Bryski likes all this stuff. And it's fun to be able to talk comics with these people, talk movies that we all love, talk, other properties like Thundercats, Turtles, Transformers, G.I. Joe. I got intense passions for all those things. Nathan does too. So does the rest of the group. Well, maybe not Joe.
And that's why we decided to integrate it into the channel more. Because we have to break that up. And sorry, what's his fucking name again? Paul Rudman?
It doesn't matter, dude. It's if people ever do wonder why we haven't talked as much He-Man, it's because we're also look, a lot of times it's me and Nathan coming up with these ideas. Okay? And we welcome the group to come up with anything. But if we want to keep this thing going, Nathan has to have this stuff done in advance because he's got a life. He's got things he's got to do. He cannot do this shit last minute if he wants the podcast to look and sound good. Rebecca's had to do all this prep for the intro and things like that too. Doosan does stuff in advance to have things ready. This stuff's got to be set up in advance. I'm coming up with a lot of this stuff for He-Man. Doosan, Joe, and the group have thrown in a few things, but a lot of times in recent years, it's been me and Nathan putting this stuff together to get this stuff because Nathan wants a plan done in advance so that way he has time to get any images, videos, information he may need to make your viewing or listening pleasure a lot more deep and fun and informative. And, it gets hard to come up with stuff that, well, how many times are we going to talk about Fisto? How many times can we talk about Clash of Arms that you guys are like, fuck, I've heard this before. Well, yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
So it's harder and harder to come up with a topic about,
Scoliosis He-Man.
Yeah, or the land shark. Like, I don't see us doing an episode about the land shark. It's just kind of a passing topic. But we want our topics to be original, things that no one else has done before. People may copy us. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I always wanted this podcast to be about stuff that I wanted to hear about. I never heard it on other podcasts or very little. So it was so important to cover all the characters, the mini comics, talk about certain episodes of Filmation, the live action movie ad nauseum to you people, the new Adventures in She-Ra, 2000X, and it's
but it's also within the limit because obviously if we were all in the same room, that probably could make it easier because we could hey, look at this, but we're doing it digitally, so it's tougher. I've admitted this to Tyler. Shit, I probably admitted it to the group. I'm getting tired of the watch along stuff. I feel like we do that a lot, but that is what it is. But
and that's something too people need to understand also. Okay, if anything else, Nathan has been expected to watch and take in more material than any of us because a lot of this stuff, especially He-Man, She-Ra, he's new to. Rebecca was familiar with a lot of it. Doosan was familiar with a lot of it. Joe was familiar with a lot of it. Ren, not so much, but he dives in and just, either waits to the last minute or whatever. But Nathan has had to consume every mini comic, every character discussion, every episode of Filmation, every episode of 2000X. Whatever it is about He-Man and She-Ra, he has had to go and read and research way in advance something he knows nothing about.
Yeah.
So if any of you have been expected to sit down and watch and read something you have no interest in or had before and are expected to show up and make a discussion or a podcast of something you don't know that much about, look great and speak knowledgeable about it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Okay. No one stops to think about that. And I want people to understand what the effort that Nathan goes into putting in the show. Okay. But when it's just me, Joe, and Nathan's still taking time to rewatch the live action movie. Watch a certain episode of Filmation, whether it's He-Man, which typically is always.
Most of it's because my memory sucks too.
But even so, it's still taking time out of your time off to sit and watch something that was not a priority in your life, whereas it was to me.
Right.
backwards and forwards, inside and out.
Yeah.
And sometimes to watch something that you're not familiar with may not be the thing you're looking forward to the most because you have no real attachment to it. But Nathan was willing to do this every single week to keep this podcast going, to make sure that we had issues with sometimes the episode not airing due to issues, and Joe was going to blow his brains out. And not literally. I'm just being silly here, people. Don't send messages to Joe like, "Oh my God, I heard this." And then we have to issue a public apology because you people are taking things too literally. I got to cover all grounds because, you just never fucking know. Even as small as our podcast is, it'd be the one time I don't say that. And someone thinks that Joe.
Yeah, see what this one comment can just like bring.
But, maybe it's this stuff. Maybe some people, if they like the quality of the show, maybe this helps them appreciate it more. If they don't like the quality of the show, this makes you understand, look, we have to do things to keep us all engaged. Rebecca gets excited about talking about Conan and Red Sonja. So do I.
Yeah.
Deucen gets excited about talking about Transformers and other cartoons, other mythologies. Ren likes to talk about all this stuff. Joe gets excited about certain things too. So Nathan, me, it's fun to shake things up.
I know
it
varies, but it's also like same time. It's hard to sort of juggle that, and props to everyone else, because when I'm just with Tyler, I mean, shit, the past couple times Tyler's only tossed out a couple things. I'm like, here you go, here's the schedule, here's what I'm thinking, let's do, here's a character bio, haven't done one of those in a while. Like we got a couple of Kumites. We got one this Sunday. We're gonna have another Kumite, I think, next month, so there won't be as much spaced out. And that was the other thing. It's just like, let's think outside the box. Let's do something that we haven't done before. And that's how like the tournament thing came about. Yep. It's like, well, let's do this and let's try that. And I know that this idea has also been done on one of the shows that has spawned from Fans of Power, but I like the idea. And I told Tyler about this. I'm like, yeah, take a year in movies and make a tournament out of that. What is the best movie from 1994 or some shit?
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, I've had a couple days to kind of cool off from that comment, but I think it was just when I saw it, I'm like, it just felt really discrediting to like everybody. And I'm like, I you kind of don't like, sure, like you're welcome to that opinion. It's fine. And I wish I would have kept it up, but I got really pissed because I left the comment that I did, and YouTube was like, no. I was like, oh, okay. Well, just delete it all, I guess. But I should have left it up. And I know we're kind of rambling here to the last little bit, so we'll go ahead and but
it just emphasized that, I know every episode we've done may not be people's cup of tea. Maybe you didn't like the topic or our views on a particular He-Man subject, whatever the case may be. And that's fine, because God knows I've gotten upset. That's why I don't listen to He-Man podcasts, because this allows me to hear what I want to hear. I can disagree with everyone on here. I can agree with everyone on here, but I feel like people's perspectives on He-Man are not very knowledgeable. Typically, they're not informed and sometimes lazy and sloppy. There's some really good people that are extremely knowledgeable. I'll listen to them all day, but.
Well, I think that's kind of the beauty of it when we actually do talk about Masters of the Universe, is when you think about the amount of people that we have on the show any given week, it is a wide variety of knowledge. Like Deucen, Tyler, Joe, and Rebecca to a certain extent. That's like, especially James, because James, of course, is like, he is the...
He's the minister of truth when it comes to He-Man. Like he is dug up so much. Him and Tom know a ton of shit. I mean, and I love being in their company. I love celebrating their knowledge. Like James is busting his ass putting these videos out for people to enjoy and become more knowledgeable of this stuff. People
and go subscribe to him, by the way. Link is down below in the description. He needs more subs, needs more views, but it's that wide range. Like we have people that have rubbed elbows with all of the creators you could think of on this show. We have the super fan group. We have the people that remember it and are gaining knowledge, like myself. And that's the entire reason that this wall right here exists, is because of this show. Is doing it, learning all that stuff, becoming knowledgeable. Now, is some of that information like kind of in and out? Yeah, it is, because I'm just like constantly absorbing, as Tyler stated, like each week, just either watching shit for the first time, rewatching stuff, and remembering things, and my memory's not as great as it used to be. But yeah, I mean, I guess I never really thought of it that way, and it's nice of you to say that. I don't want to blow too much smoke, but
it goes for any of us, you know. But Nathan's done it more than anybody, because he's the reason we're all able to come together, because he's setting all this up, and it's his time that he could be spending with Emily, or watching something, or drinking something, or you know, or
what all am I drinking, man? You make it sound like it's like, what's this? Antifreeze? All right, yeah.
I'm honey, it's time to drink dinner. You know, but I just like, look, a lot of credit needs to be given to Nathan for taking time every single week, throughout the week, to get the stuff put together on an episode, a comic book. It's one of the reasons why we don't do guests anymore that aren't like friends with us, because guests take time and trying to get all this stuff set up, and it's stressing trying to get someone in sync with us who doesn't have either the computer knowledge, you know, or getting schedules signed up. And a lot of times too, it feels like guests aren't appreciated when we bring them on here that have worked on He-Man. I don't feel like people appreciate it. I don't think they were interested in it. Looking back at it, I think I certainly was probably more excited than anybody to have these guests on that I'm like came and went, and I don't think anybody cared. It was heartbreaking. So like, why put in this time and effort to try and contact someone who I think would have a lot to say, make for a great conversation, if people in general are not as interested about the in-depth details of these mythologies and movies that we love and want to continue to celebrate till we're no longer breathing, to someone who's just like, did you get like that latest like He-Man toy that's on Big Bed? Did you get it? You gonna talk about that?
Just a little more inside baseball for everybody. So when we did Return of Swamp Thing, there were plans in place to actually have Jim Wynorski like call in for like a 10-15 minute little deal to talk to him, but he is obviously older, and he doesn't have the stuff to connect in like he would with this. So it would have actually been like a phone call and trying to figure out the idea that I had was call him. So use my StreamYard guest app on my phone, call him on Emily's phone, set Emily's phone across from my phone, so when he would talk, it would pick up on the StreamYard guest app. But I'm like, we'd have to set the phones in another room, and then I don't know how that would work because I'm not there with the phones. And it's like, would she have to sit there with the phones? And we got a dog, and I'm like, what noise is he gonna make or whatever? So it's just, I was like, it's too much. I would have loved to have had him on. There we go. But it just didn't pan out. I'll read a deuce. And for instance, last Sunday I kicked both Tyler and Tom's butts with facts and logic before the show started. I don't even know what he's talking about.
Hell he did. He's talking about the double sword conversation me and Tom had.
Oh yeah. When you guys were talking Master Universe before.
Yeah, we had a great Master of the Universe conversation that would have been good for the podcast, but it was just something that we just started rambling about, and then we got into a Flash discussion. So, you know, but I mean, that's the thing. We could just spitball stuff right on top of our heads, and just keep going. And it may not be something that everybody wants to do every week. That's why it's important to do a discussion on Superman, Batman, Conan, you know, an obscure 80s movie or something.
We have to. I mean, we just change it for ourselves, because I mean, and once again, I'm not speaking for everyone else that's that we have on the show, but I think in terms of my interest currently in Master Universe, it's probably like the lowest it's been in a while.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's not a disparaging thing against that property. It's just like
there's nothing important going on with He-Man right now. It's not.
Well,
I don't give a fuck about how popular. Which I'm sorry, Origins is not setting the world on fire. All right, people. Like, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you have something to collect that's He-Man. But come on, it's not telling Mattel we got to expand. We got to make sure a new TV series, a new animated series, a trilogy of live action movies. It's not doing enough to, you know.
I mean,
look,
they came out with some animated series, and it was I'm sorry. It's
my point.
Not only divisive, but like I'm sorry. Who's talking about either of those shows?
Nobody is.
Nobody.
And just like always, the people who are into it, we're there for the moment. You're there for the fireworks because it's brand new, it's hot. I want to be part of something that you think is new and hot, and then
I get the excitement. I really do. You and I 20 years ago, same way. We were the same way. We really were. And it's not so much that we're just like, I mean, maybe that is that we're just like grumpy and disgruntled with everything, but you reach a point where, much like wrestling, you've kind of seen everything for the most part.
Well, I mean, look, there is still tons of room, and I'm not gonna.
There is, but
there is, but just knowing that
there's not.
We will not get a He-Man or She-Ra animated series or movie or a comic book or any other form of media in this day and age that's gonna be treated.
Jesus says that's right. Blame Tyler and Nathan for Disco Skeletor. Yeah, Tyler bought 2 of them. I only bought 1.
I thought I just bought 1, but I sold it, Yeah. But, well, look, all right. So, again, when Nathan says I bought everything because I wanted everything I could get my hands on when 2006 came out, even though the cartoon, I bought every shitty variant, 1 mint on card, 1 to take out of the box. I was not going to miss out on my beloved property again, like I did in the 80s, where I only caught the 87, and then it was gone. But I even though I'm telling myself this is great, and when the dust settles, this vehicle sucks. This character sucks. This variant sucks. This episode sucks.
It happens.
But I wasn't so blind where I wasn't willing to admit that an episode of the 2009 cartoon sucked when it aired. Like, if it was bad, it was fucking bad.
Yeah, but I mean, it goes beyond that. Like, dude, how many times did you see Phantom Menace in theaters?
14.
See?
Yeah.
Tyler and I went and saw episode 2. We were like, yeah. We went and saw episode 3. We were like, yeah. And you go and watch it back.
I can't say because I think Attack of the Clones, like the first few, I'm like, what the fuck? When Mace Windu says this party's over, I remember just frowning in the theaters. Like,
all right, well then, Revenge of the Sith. We've told stories before.
Yeah, and we hoped that was gonna be better, and it wasn't. Even though we're just, you keep hoping in the hype that this is good and it's not bad, and even though 3 times in theaters, Revenge of the Sith still fucking sucks.
Yeah,
they all do. But you didn't want.
It happens.
It happens, but it's also like
the excitement is there. We've all done it. It's just now at this point between all of that, like I think about Nolan's Batman. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm just saying, like Nolan's Batman, same thing with that stuff. Where it's just like, holy shit, and then you look back on it, and it's like, all right, that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The hype dies down for it.
It's the same. We're all in the same boat here. We're just like,
but we're just like, I'm sure Star Wars fans, like the hardest of the hardcore fans, when Phantom Menace came out, they saw it for what it was, and they were out. Me, I was like, I wanted to duplicate what those people back in the 70s and the earliest got to do with the trilogy. I wanted to do that with this. And in my mind, the first showing of Phantom Menace, I was like, what the fuck? But I was so excited. It was new Star Wars, new toys and everything. I was like, okay, well, this part was better. Maybe if I go back and see it again. And it was, you just didn't want to accept until it saw it on VHS. Like, oh my God, this movie's dog shit.
But don't fret, Paul Rudman, because the next 3 Sundays are going to be Fans of Power episodes, and we'll make sure that we'll only make them 15 minutes long, just for you. We'll even bring Ozone back, just to make.
Yeah, for one night only, because his attention span is pretty fucking short. He starts playing instruments and vaping into the camera.
I want to put this out here too. comes from Philippe. I'm not going to front. There's been a few watch-alongs where I was tuned out, but I'm not going to post rude shit.
But you know what?
I get it though, and that goes in the whole point of me saying like I'm just like watch along, because we do like in those instances when we do watch alongs. I personally feel like we just rely too much and just reacting to what's on the screen instead of really like talking about the thing. I don't want to like break this down too much more. I feel like we peeled.
But I mean, I want to encourage. Who made that comment? Was it that the one you just posted, Felipe?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Felipe and anyone else too. You all, please, I encourage you. If there's things you don't like, it helps when you tell us. Our comments are damn near 2-3 a week, if that.
I'm just gonna say this too. Like, even though Paul Rudman's comment got to me in the way that it did, which that's very few and far between. But yes, please be honest. If you want to leave that and do it, totally fine.
Yeah, if there's something you'd like us covered more of, we ask this, and it's disappointing most of the time. We don't get many comments. It really is. So when someone says something negative, I'm like, hey, someone was paying attention. And I'm
but in this case, it's Paul Rudman that's showing up after like an 8-year absence.
I'm just saying, like, if someone listened to our show and strongly disagree with something I said, Nathan said, Joe, Ren, Deuce, and Rebecca, whatever, it's okay. But when we don't get much feedback, either privately or on our YouTube channel.
Well, see, now we just sound like we're begging for it, man.
No, I'm saying, but if I don't want people to feel like they can't, if they want something done better or done more of. I'm encouraging feedback because they want more of something they like, less of something they don't like, or
I'm going to put it out there that I think we should turn some more of these watch parties into more discussion based stuff.
I always thought it'd be fun to do commentaries because that's my thing. I do feel like we did oversaturate with watch alongs for a while. Yeah. Where it got to where like, oh my god, like I don't want to do another fucking watch along because even if it's just a 22-minute episode. Yeah. But I thought they were fun. It's fun if we can stay on topic which we have done. Where we get disjointed and we're not talking about what's on screen, which, hey, look, I've listened to other people's commentaries. They can veer off and talk about other stuff.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's just like, I feel like we've done it too much. But hey, welcome to us breaking down just the content that we're putting out.
Yeah, but like I said, we're not, I'm just saying, like, if you have thoughts, don't just watch it and just, oh, well, I really should do more of that. And then we never hear about it. It just would be nice to get more feedback, whether you like the content or not. Telling us what you like and don't like is certainly helpful. Because right now we're just trying to keep up stuff that keeps our energy and our creative juices flowing with creative content.
That's kind of the biggest thing is just keeping the energy for us leveled up, which is why we're doing more things that are not Mass Universe related.
Yeah.
Because it can't just be that every week. I'm sorry. We
did it for, every week for years, so it's not like we, But
absolutely. I get people. I guess I get it that to a degree, but there's just at this point there's no way. Like early on, sure, but now it's like.
We've did character bias for damn near every character in the vintage line. We've discussed. There's still a lot of episodes of Filmation we haven't covered, but I think we've covered. The majority, the really good ones. I mean, like, look, we're not going to cover the fucking Star Child. We're not going to cover fucking.
No, we are
not. We're not going to cover, the Huntsman. I mean,
it's already on the schedule. I don't know if I told you about that or not. Changing it up. All right, fuck it, man. Let's go ahead and wrap it up because Paul Rudman's not going to be happy. This is almost 3 hours here in about 30 seconds. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed looking through all the cards with us. I hope you enjoyed this last little 30 minutes where we just really talked about just the process of the channel and how it is. And I guess I should apologize a little bit too. Like, and you're going to be like, oh, well, I don't know why it bothered me because the past couple of days, I haven't even thought about it really.
Well, I mean, you can't help it. It just, like you said, in that particular moment.
Joe and I have the same temperament. I might not show it as much on the show in the way that Joe does. I don't show my love in the way that Joe does, but it happens. Joe and I are very much temper-wise kind of the same.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit better about hiding it while we're on camera.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw me with Deucin, where I was like, God damn it, dude.
Well, but what Deucin needed to shut the fuck up at some point. He's like, all right, Deucin. Yeah. But Deucin has admitted if he he gets out of line, tell him to do it some more. Do it very slowly,
But aside from this last little bit, maybe a little informative for you at home to kind of see the thought process, how the show evolved, whatever. But I hope, for the most part, you enjoyed our main discussion of us talking about these trading cards. We will come back to this topic. I don't think we'll wait another year to go through another set of the trading cards. But as Tyler said, leave a comment down below, positive, negative. I won't delete it.
Free speech. Say what you like, whether you don't or do like. Just let us just
don't come barreling in with like, what the fuck happened to these guys?
Hey,
don't do that.
If you feel that way. So
sure, but don't start with that.
But Nathan may decide to like, all right, ring the bell, and me, I'm like,
ring their bell.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm checked out all this stuff. I just like reading comments when we get them. It's nice. So
I mean, Deuce's saying you're still sore over last Sunday's defeat, Tisk.
No, I'm glad you could have dreams like that.
But leave a comment down below if you haven't done so already. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and always ring the bell so you get notified when we go live. And until next time, it's all bullshit and it's bad for you.
Prepare to meet Kali in hell.
I should know this.
Yes and no, probably.
Oh, okay. So,
well, yeah, you should know this because we've talked about it a lot, but I don't expect you to have this line memorized. Now, if Rebecca would know this one, I will say that.
Was it Red Sonja?
No.
That's the go-to anytime you're like, Rebecca knows. I'm like, that's Red Sonja. Beastmaster?
No.
You give me a hint.
It's on a bridge when he says this.
Temple of Doom?
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah.
Come around.
I'm going to go on record. Temple of Doom, best Indiana Jones film. Yeah.
Nope. Still no.
Yep.
Still no. Last Crusade is number one for me.
It was for me for years, but I'm like, Jesus Christ, the badassery of Indy and Temple of Doom going up against the thuggy death.
She said that's easy.
Yeah, that's why she was here. She would belt it out to the back row because she's the only other like major Temple of Doom supporter I know. Everyone else is all about Raiders.
Or
Last Crusade.
John, no.
Well, I get John because he probably saw Raiders when it first came out too. So anyone who saw Raiders first is always going to put Raiders first. Like I can't picture that anything else.
Last Crusade, Raiders, Temple of Doom.
Oh no, Temple of Doom, Crusade, Raiders, and they're all great. That's the thing.
I've come around to Temple of Doom.
But people when they don't, I don't hear anyone says they like Temple of Doom and they put it last. They just say it was fucking bad or it was wrong. Whereas, like, it's a masterful trilogy.
It was wrong.
Like, it was just like, no, it's Temple of Doom. It's so fucking cool, man. Harrison Ford's never been more badass than the way he's in that movie.
I've come around to it, but I like the other two better.
I don't argue that, but people, when they say it's a shitty
but I like
film,
that though. So like John right now, he's like 1, 2, 3, and I'm like 3, 1, 2, and you're like
2, 3, 1.
2, 3, 1. So it's
all right. I'm sure Rebecca's probably similar to mine because I know she likes The Last Crusade too, but she probably puts Raiders as in third
John,
place.
put a ranking in the chat real quick before
we bow out there. He's got a gun to her head. Do it. Do it right.
Yeah. God. Kumite this Sunday. Kumite this Sunday.
Temple of Doom. It'll be awesome. And I'm sure Nathan will be like, Joe, I think I'm going to be sick that week. I'm pretty sure I'll have to like build an addition onto the house.
There's been a few times admittedly, in the past couple months where I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll just sit back, not be on camera, and just put the stuff on the screen or whatever. But then like everyone else is like, I can't make it, I can't do it. I'm like, fuck. Now I got to be here.
Hey,
I feel
if it was just me and Deuce and Nathan wanted to sit up, me and Deuce could do a He-Man discussion. Like, if
I would
everyone
love
else was
to
like,
see that.
if I, Rebecca's got to go. I got to go poopy.
Oh man, Rebecca, come on.
2, 1, 3. She's got Last Crusade last.
Yeah, what the
man? It too, Rebecca.
Yeah, it too, Rebecca.
God, man, we may have maybe
do some what's yours real quick since you're there in the chat. Give me your ranking. We'll go ahead and we'll shut her off.
We may have to do a tier list of elements of the Indy trilogy, like best film, best version of Indiana, best villain, or ranking the villains, ranking the movie itself, the artifact that he's after, the side characters.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah,
wouldn't be a bad idea.
And the Rim would be like, I didn't watch those movies. I wasn't into that stuff. 1, 3, and 2. So he's got Temple of Doom last 2. So he's in cahoots with John Boy.
No, John was 1, 2, 3.
Oh, he's 1, 2, 3. That's right. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. God.
Yeah. See, I was 3, 1, 2.
And I'm 2, 3, 1. And Rebecca's 3.
No, 2, 1, 3.
3. Gosh, sounds like a bunch of fucking high school locker combinations.
Yeah. Different area codes.
But this is kind of proven to be quite intriguing there.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ren's like, I never watched Indy, but I fucked a motorcycle though.
Yeah, he did. All right, fuck guys.
We're out.
3 hours long.
It's time to go to bed.
I'm gonna stay up.
Take care, everyone.